Hi guys, welcome back. So guys, this is the first session and the first session will be started from introduction. So let me begin with introduction. So here is the first slide and look at here guys, what is written? What is SAP? Okay, so here is the answer. Systems, applications and product in data processing. Is it a correct answer guys? See, if I ask the same question from anybody, most of you will give the same answer: systems, application and product in data processing. But I'll tell you guys, this is not 100% correct answer. This is just the full form of SAP. SAP stands for systems, applications and product in data processing. So here the question is still remain, what is SAP? So look at here, here is the answer. It's an ERP. Okay, so again the another question, so what is ERP then, right? So here now look at here guys, so the answer is hidden in the full form of this ERP. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise means what? Business organization. An organization is called enterprise. Now, what next? Resources. What are the resources required to run a particular organization, guys? So the major resources are man, money, machines, and material. These are the major resources which is required to run a particular organization. Here I simply coded 4M, but these are the mandatory resources. Of course, marketing methods, these are another two which is added, but minimum 4M are required, that is man, money, material and machines. Now the next one is planning. Planning about what? Planning about, look at here, effective and optimum utilization, maximum utilization of its resources. So now if you talk about the definition, right? Look at here guys, the definition is ERP is what? It's a software which helps an organization to manage their resources effectively and efficiently. It ensures the optimum or maximum utilization of its resources. So what is SAP? SAP is an ERP. Now the question is, what is an ERP? So ERP is nothing but a software which helps an organization to manage their resources effectively and efficiently. It ensures the maximum utilization of resources. Okay, now I'll just quote a very simple example so that you guys will be having perfect understanding. Okay, so look at here. Here I have quoted the example of Tata Motor. Instead of Tata Motor, you guys can take example of any other organization as well, Tata Steel, Tata Chemical, or else any other organization. Okay, so in Tata Motor, look at here, I have written like sales department, purchase department, account and finance department, HR department. So these are the major departments. Okay, out of these four departments, take example of any of the department. Look at here, I have taken example of sales department. Now, so just assume that Tata Motor is not using any ERP. Tata Motor is not using any software. So in that case, what will happen, guys? So since sales department, multiple transactions are taking place, multiple activities are being performed by sales department. So in that case, what to do? See, in order to manage the sales department, the total number of employee, like total 50 number of employees are needed to manage the entire sales department. Why? Because they're not using any ERP, let's suppose. Okay, so in that case, every activities manually they have to perform all the activity. So 25 people involved in day-to-day transaction posting and remaining 25 people involved in report preparations. See, Tata Motor is a big organization. Multiple transactions are taking place on daily basis. So 25 people involved in transaction posting, transaction recording, because since they're not using ERP, they're not using any software. So manually they have to record everything. They might be maintaining certain registers like sales register. In that they have to record all the transactions. Then if any customer return is there, that also supposed to be recorded. Customer payments are there, that also supposed to be recorded, right? So multiple activities, multiple transactions are taking place on regular basis. And report preparations, of course, if you talk about the management of Tata Motor, whatever the further decisions or future decisions are there, that is, so those further or future decisions will be taken by management based on the reports only, right? So now here total 15 number of employees are needed to manage the sales department. When? If they're not using ERP. Now let's suppose Tata Motor decided to use an ERP. Okay, Tata Motor decided to implement an ERP. Let's suppose SAP itself. So once the SAP is implemented in Tata Motor, then what will happen, guys? Immediately, whatever these 25 resources or people involved in this report preparations, So these people are not at all needed. Okay. It means the entire sales department can be managed by these 25 people. Okay. Why? I'll tell you. Now, so here after implementation of SAP, now what will happen? These 25 people are needed. They involve in day-to-day transaction posting. So whatever transactions were being recorded earlier manually, the transaction volume is same, guys. There is no change in the transaction volume. Earlier also multiple invoices were, getting posted on daily basis. Right now also same invoices are there, or maybe more invoices are there. So in that case, these people are required, because earlier they were recording these all transactions manually. Now they have to record with the help of SAP. Okay. So 25 people are required. But if you talk about report preparations, report is nothing but output, right? So here what will happen, guys, this whatever transactions are posted here in SAP, these are treated by system as an input, and based on that, output will be generated automatically by system. So these 25 people are not at all needed. SAP automatically will generate different kind of reports, right? Even the complex report also can be generated by SAP, because it's an ERP. So transactions, once the transactions are posted into SAP, guys, so multiple different kind of reports will be generated. Now, so that's the reason here these 25 people can be utilized in some different activity. So look at here, there is a maximum utilization of resources, right? Earlier 50 people involved in a single department. Right now, after implementation of SAP is nothing but ERP, right? So after implementation of an ERP, now same organization, in the sense same department is managed by 25 people only. So remaining 25 people can be used in some different activity. These remaining 25 people are going to, right? So Tata Motor will deploy these people in some different activity. So maximum utilization is happening. Optimum utilization is happening. That's what I have specified here in the definitions, right? So it's a software which helps an organization to manage their resources effectively and efficiently. Look at here, the resource management 50, and now after implementations only 25. So these 25 people can be utilized in a different activity. So maximum utilization is happening, isn't it? Now I'll quote another example, like just take example of banking sector. If you talk about like 40 years back, 50 years back, so I think computer was not that much prevalent in those days. Okay, so 40 years back, 50 years back, like if you talk about like most of the banks, so everything's were happening like manually. They were also like whatever the transactions were taking place, like manually itself, it was taking place. Okay, so in that case, like let's suppose someone just went to the reception counter and they want to get certain informations. So in that case, what will happen, guys? Whoever the receptionist is there to find out a single informations, they have to check multiple registers. It may take half an hour also, 1 hour also, 20 minutes also. But nowadays, every banks are using software. So what happened? If you need any information related to your account, simply you just approach the reception counter. The moment you quote your name and your date of birth, they'll take all the, what do you say, this one, name, date of birth, or email ID, or PAN card number, Aadhaar number, right? So if you give a single informations with that, they are going to get all the details, your mobile number, right? So with a single informations, they will able to fetch all the details, and that too within few seconds. This is what the benefit of ERP, right? Whichever work was done by a single employee in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, now with the help of ERP, within few seconds, the same work can be done. So earlier, if one employee was, let's suppose, taking care of like 100 queries or per day, now what is happening? The same employee can take care of 500 queries per day. This is what the like benefit of ERP. Okay. So now hope you guys are able to understand the ERP. Okay. Now look at here. What are the leading ERP in the market? So leading ERPs are there like SAP, Oracle, JD Edward, BAN, Epicor, PeopleSoft, right? And multiple other ERPs are also there, like Navision is there, Tally is there, right? And even certain customized ERPs are also there. Customized ERP means, let's suppose there is a particular organization and they're having some unique kind of requirement. So they'll approach certain IT company and they're requested to develop a particular ERP software for their organization only. right, to meet their requirement. So that is called customized. In the sense, those kind of ERP or software is developed for a particular organization. So that is there in that organization itself. SAP, Oracle, this Epicor, PeopleSoft. So these are the standard ERP throughout the world. If you talk about the configuration steps, if you talk about, let's talk about SAP. If you talk about the configuration steps for SAP, throughout the world, same configuration steps are there, right? So this is standard ERP. Now, so these are the leading ERP. Of course, if you talk about SAP, this is a global leader, you can say, market leader, you can say. Now, then list of SAP modules. See, multiple modules are there in SAP. If you have to learn SAP, it doesn't mean that you guys are going to learn the entire module. No, you can be expert of only one thing. You can't be expert of each and everything, right? So here in SAP, multiple modules are there, but at broader level, it is divided into two parts. That is functional and technical module. Functional and technical module. So functional module means here we have to do the configurations. Okay. Now, like these are the theoretical sessions, but once I start the practical session, guys, there are several configurations. So no need to worry. I'm going to explain these configurations practically. I'll show you guys how to configure. There are multiple topics. There are multiple things which we have to configure into SAP. So no need to worry. You guys are going to be expert of those things. Okay. So functional module means we have to do certain configurations. And technical module means development kind of activities will be done here with the help of technical module like ABAP and BASIS. These are the two module comes under technical. So if you talk about ABAP, here the development activity, codings will of course involve in technical module. BASIS means server related activities will be performed here in BASIS. Okay. So so at broader level, functional and technical, these are the two module. Now again, look at here. So in functional module, we are having several module like FI stand for finance, CO stand for controlling, MM stand for material management, right? SD, HR. We have other modules also like PP is there, PM is there, QM is there, PS is there, right? PP stand for production planning, PM stand for plant maintenance, PS stand for project system, right? So these all are functional modules. Technical module, we are having ABAP and BASIS. As I said, like ABAP people generally they involve in development related activity, and BASIS means server, like they will all the server related maintenance will be done by BASIS, and apart from this certain other activities are also there. So once we start the practical session, so slowly you guys will be having little bit idea about this ABAP and BASIS activity also, what exactly they are doing, right? So those little bit you guys will be having idea about those things also. Okay, so this is all about the introduction part, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. So here in this session, I'll explain types of SAP projects. Now, guys, once you become SAP consultant, then you guys will be part of a particular project. So here the question is, how many types of projects are there into SAP? So let's have a look. Now, in SAP, we are having 4 types of project. Okay, first one is implementation project. Second one is rollout project. Third one is upgrade project. And fourth one is support project. So again, the question is like, what is the difference between these projects, right? There might be a question how you guys will come to know that what is happening in implementations, what is happening in rollout, what is happening in upgrade and support. So I'll tell you guys, of course, like once I start the practical session, you guys will be having perfect understanding. But here, let me explain theoretically what is happening here in the sense, what about this implementations rollout? So that I'm going to explain one by one. Okay. So let me start from implementation. Look at here. So in previous session, I have quoted the example of Tata Motor. So here I've specified Tata Motor itself. Now look at here, guys. So let's suppose in Tata Motor, okay, right now they're using a different ERP. Here I have specified Tally. Instead of Tally, you can take example of a different ERP also. So let's suppose at present Tata Motor is using Tally ERP. But Tally means compared to SAP, it is quite small. And Tata Motor is a big organization, guys. So the management of Tata Motor is like they require various different kind of reports, right? And that is not possible to generate through Tally. So in that case, or whichever ERPs are being used by Tata Motor, since this is smaller platform, so that's the reason like they're not able to So that is not able to, Tally is not able to meet the requirement of Tata Motor. So they decided to go for a bigger platform. They decided to go for a different ERP. Okay. So they did the market research and later on they decided to go for SAP. So now here what will happen, guys? How they will be able to use SAP? So SAP, first of all, SAP must be installed and configured. Where? In Tata Motor. Then only their employee will be able to use SAP software instead of Tally. So now what will happen, guys? SAP supposed to be installed and configured. So configurations, of course, will be done by functional consultant. If we talk about SAP installation, I mean to say SAP server, setup into Tata Motor. So that will be done by basis consultant. Okay. So now here what is happening? Look at here. So SAP is going to install in Tata Motor. SAP installation and configuration is happening here in Tata Motor first time, isn't it? So look at here, guys. Now, fresh or first time installation of SAP in any organization is called implementation project. Okay. When the SAP is supposed to be, let's suppose, implemented here in Tata Motor, who will implement this SAP? Of course, Tata Motor will, like invite certain IT company, maybe IBM, Accenture, Wipro, Infosys, right? So let's suppose this project is given to IBM. Okay, Tata Motor has given this project to IBM. Okay, so IBM team, a team of consultant, right? So team of consultant from where? From IBM. So those people will implement SAP here in Tata Motor, right? They will install and configure this SAP in Tata Motor, right? So first time installation and configuration is happening here in Tata Motor, guys. So that's the reason here first time installation of SAP in any organization is called implementation project. So when somebody says, let's suppose you joined a particular organization and your HR manager or whoever is there from that particular organization saying that, hi, welcome on board, and you will be the part of implementation project. So what does it mean? Implementation project means, in that case, you have to assume that in that whatever project you got, implementation project. So for that particular client, generally what is happening, guys, it is the fresh or first time installation of SAP, right, in that particular organization. So now fresh or first time installation of SAP in any organization is called implementation project. Again, entire implementation project is further segregated in 5 phases. That also I'll explain. Okay, what are those phases? That I'll explain in details. No need to worry. So this is all about implementation. Now here I have specified, look at here, greenfield and brownfield. So if we talk about implementation, then it is divided into two parts, greenfield implementation and brownfield implementation. So look at here, if we talk about this example means now here Tata Motor is having, like Tata Motor is using one ERP and it is replaced by SAP. So this ERP, this Tally, right, this is called legacy system, right? So here legacy system will be replaced by SAP. This is the example of brownfield implementation. Brownfield implementation means what is happening, guys? Look at here, there is a presence of legacy system. It means organization in, like let's suppose Tata Motor itself. So one existing ERP is already there and that is replaced by SAP. So this is the example of brownfield implementation. It means already legacy system is there and that is replaced by SAP. Now, if legacy system is there, then what will happen, guys? Then data migrations will be taking place. Data migration means lots of data are there here in Tally. So once the SAP is implemented, then client, of course, client will request that lots of data are there in Tally. I need certain data here in SAP also. So we have to go for data migrations, right? Data will be migrated from legacy system to SAP system. So what is happening, guys? This data migrations will be taking place in brownfield implementations. Why? Because there is a presence of legacy system which will be replaced by SAP system. So if legacy system is there, it means multiple data are there in the legacy system, and that's the reason data migrations activity will be taking place where data will be migrated from legacy system to SAP system. Now we'll talk about greenfield implementations. So if you talk about greenfield implementation, guys, now let's suppose there is a particular organization in say for example Tata Cement. Of course, Tata Cement is not a small, sorry, what to say, new organization, guys, but just I'm quoting an example. So, guys, just assume that Tata Chemical, Tata Cement is a new organization, a totally new setup. Okay. So, here what is happening? If there is a new setup, then of course, plant constructions will be taking place. Somewhere the corporate office also, the construction is taking place. Everything is like it is totally new setup, right? And in order to run that particular organizations, they need an ERP also. So SAP implementation also will be taking place, right? Okay. So this is like totally new. Here, what is happening in case of Tata Cement, since it is a quite new setup. So now in Tata Cement, if SAP implementation is happening, that is called greenfield implementations. Why? Because there is no any legacy system, isn't it? And if there is no legacy system, in that case, there is no data migration, because there is no legacy system. So of course, there is no data migration, right? So this is what the classic example of greenfield. So greenfield means a totally new implementations where like the what to say presence of legacy system is not there. There is no legacy system. Brownfield implementation means the presence of legacy system will be there and that will be replaced by SAP system. Okay, and there is one more concept is there in the market, guys, that is called blue field implementation. Not that much prevalent, right? But I have seen in my live classes, like sometimes people are asking questions, or what is this blue field implementations? So blue field implementation means what is happening? It's a kind of it's a kind of brown field implementation itself. Okay, it's a kind of brown field implementation itself. But what is happening, guys? The go live will happen phase by phase. Okay, go live will happen phase by phase, in the sense, first of all, let's suppose account payable related configurations are done and we have made like SAP system live. So what will happen? All the activity, all the transactions transactions will be posted here into legacy system, but account payable related transaction will be posted in SAP system. Then after some time, what is happening? Receivable related configurations will be done, and then account AR, even the entire account receivable also will become live, and so those AR related transactions also will be posted here into SAP system. So phase by phase, what is happening, guys? The phase by phase things are switching from legacy system to SAP system. Okay, so that is blue field implementation. That is not that much prevalent. That's the reason here greenfield and brownfield I have specified, because I've seen multiple times people have asked these questions, that what is the difference between greenfield implementation and brownfield implementation. So hope you guys are able to understand. Greenfield means new implementations where there is absence of legacy system. There is no legacy system. And brownfield means presence of legacy system, and that's the reason data migrations also will be there in brownfield implementation. So hope you guys are able to understand here. Now, so this is what is happening in implementation project. Okay, implementation project means multiple, like almost you can say A to Z configurations we have to do. Lots of configurations we have to do, right? In implementation project, A to Z configuration. That is the reason generally whenever any opening is there, SAP related openings are there. In that case, in like people are preferring someone who is having like knowledge of implementation project will get more preference. Okay, so people are demanding like, okay, candidate must be having the knowledge of implementation project, and that's the reason in my entire tutorial I'll focus on implementation, because implementation means what will happen, guys? 100%. Okay, A to Z, 100% configurations you have to do. So if somebody is having idea of implementation project, easily they will be able to work on support also, rollout also, upgrade also, right? 100% means everything is included in that. Okay, now, so implementation project I have explained. The next one is rollout. So look at here in rollout. Now we are having here Tata Group. Okay, so Tata Group means a group organization, group company, which is having multiple subsidiary. Now here Tata Motor, Tata Steel, Tata Cement, Tata Chemical, right? Lots of subsidiaries are there. So Tata Group has decided. Okay, now I'll just give another example here. Okay, now we are having, let's suppose, so I'll just make it like this. Okay, so here we are having, like, let's suppose Tata Okay, I'll just type in shortcut, guys. Okay, so don't look at the spellings. Tata Group. Under Tata Group, we are having Tata Motor, Tata Steel, Tata Chemical, right? Tata Cement, Tata Chemical, whatever you assume. Okay, so these three subsidiaries are there. Now, so Tata, generally what is happening? Tata Motor is using a different ERP. Okay, Tata Motor is using a different ERP. Okay, here ERP A, B, and C. I'm not quoting the name, Tally or something or something. Simply I've given name. So Tata Motor is using a different ERP. Tata Steel is using different ERP. Tata Cement is using different ERP. Okay. So what is the challenge? The challenge is generally if the Tata Group want to see some consolidated report at group level, consolidated report means, let's suppose if they want to see overall revenue for Tata Motor, like combined revenue, Tata Motor, Tata Steel, and Tata Chemical, right? So if they want to see the combined revenue, then what will happen, guys? This is called consolidated report. So if they want to see the consolidated report, in that case, first of all, they have to fetch the data from this ERP related to Tata Motor. Again, they have to fetch the data from this ERP, from ERP B, and they have to fetch the data from ERP C, and then they have to combine it to get the report, right? Instead of that, they thought, why not to use a single ERP itself in every subsidiary? Let's suppose they thought like, okay, we'll do one thing. We'll implement SAP in our all subsidiary. Okay. So if SAP is implemented, then what will happen, guys? Within few seconds, they can see the combined or consolidated report, because Tata Motor, Tata Steel, Tata Chemical, all are using the same ERP, same server, right? So in a single server itself, all the data are getting stored. So it is quite easy to get the consolidated report. And earlier, what was happening, guys? They are using different ERP. So there is no integrations between these ERP. Whereas now, all Tata Motor, Tata Steel, Tata Chemical, every subsidiaries are using the same ERP. So it's very simple to get the consolidated report. So that's the reason Tata Group decided to go for SAP. So for Tata Motor, first of all, they thought, okay, first of all, let it be implemented here for Tata Motor. And once we'll check the performance, right? Once we are satisfied with the performance, then same will be installed and configured in the remaining subsidiary also, right? For Tata Steel and Tata Chemical. So look at here, guys, in Tata Group, for this Tata Motor, first time installation is happening. At group level also, first time itself was there, right? Of course, for Tata Motor is first time. Even for group level also, it is first time itself. So that is called implementations. Here it is going to be called, it is this project, Tata Motor project, in the sense installation and configurations will be called implementations. But Tata Steel onwards, the same installation and configurations will be done later in Tata Steel, Tata Chemical, and other subsidiary. So that is called a rollout project. Okay, that is called rollout project. Okay, now even though if we are having, let's suppose, 100 subsidiary, okay, in Tata Group, if we are having 100 subsidiary, so for the first subsidiary, this SAP installation and configurations, okay, for first subsidiary is called implementations, and second subsidiary onwards, it is called a rollout project. Okay, so this is what is happening. Now look at here. If we talk about the definition, if a group company already implemented SAP for one subsidiary and want to set up the same for a different subsidiary, is called a rollout project, right? So this is what the simplest definition of rollout, right? In a group company already, if a group company already implemented SAP for one subsidiary, the first subsidiary, that is called your implementation project, right? And want to set up the same for a different subsidiary. Different means this one, this one. So these all will be called rollout, whereas the first one is implementation, right? I'll tell you guys now. Practically also, I'll explain what is the difference between implementations and rollout. But look at here, 100% steps we have to configure each and everything during implementations. But in rollout, only 50 to 60% steps we have to follow. Okay, 50 to 60% steps only we have to follow. Remaining 40%, it's already done during Tata Motor. That itself will be used. Now, when I say these things, I know you guys are not able to visualize, right? Of course, now I'm explaining theoretically, but as I said, I'll explain this practically also. so that you guys will be having 100% clarity, a perfect understanding. Okay, so no need to worry. In practical session, I'm going to explain that why, and 100% steps are there in implementations, why only 60% or 50% steps are there in rollout. So I'll show you practically so that you guys will be having perfect idea. Okay, now, so here I have explained a rollout project. What next? The next one is upgrade. Pretty simple, guys. Upgrade means, of course, we are upgrading from lower version to higher version. Here, lower version to higher version. Because not only SAP, whichever ERP, whichever softwares are there, guys, in every software, lots of research and development activities are taking place. They keep on adding new functionality. So after some time, what will happen, guys? If they like added certain new functionality, so of course the like version of that ERP is changed, right? And if the client want to use that newly added functionality, they have to upgrade the version, right? So this is called upgradations project here. And if you talk about the definitions, look at here, shifting from one version of SAP to other. In upgrade project, we always shift from lower version to higher version. Pretty obvious, guys, right? Now, the last one, that is support project. So look at here, post implementation. It means after implementation, all SAP related maintenance error activity comes under support project. Okay, now implementation is done in Tata Motor. Okay, so what will happen, guys, after implementation? Let's suppose we have done the implementation. SAP is implemented in Tata Motor. After that, we have handed over the software to Tata Motor, in the sense like in their system, SAP server is ready and the server become live. So what will happen, guys? Whatever the live data are there, live transactions are there, that will be recorded now into SAP. Okay, so it means once the go live is done, go live means like, let's suppose SAP installations and configurations, everything we have done, we have performed the testing, everything was working fine. Then after, what is happening, guys? We have to hand it over to the client that now SAP server is ready. Whatever the activity, whatever transactions you guys were posting in legacy system, now you have to post in SAP system. So the moment we have handed over these, it means our activity, or in the sense our implementation is done. We have done with this SAP implementation. What next? So after implementation, the employee of Tata Motor, they will start recording this day-to-day transactions here into SAP. But do you think that they can proceed further independently without your support? It is impossible. If any error has taken place, let's suppose, it's a software, guys, right? So if any error has taken place, who will solve this that particular error, right? If there is another requirement, let's suppose there is a report, and in that they are saying that I need to add one additional column here. Okay, one additional column, let's suppose, supposed to be added. Who will add this? We have to make some changes in configuration, or we have to customize. Who will do this? Of course, SAP consultant. It won't be done by Tata Motor employee, because they are not the expert of SAP. Who is expert of SAP, guys? It's you people. In the sense, after completion of these courses, of course, you guys are going to become SAP consultant. So it's you people who has to perform these activity, right? So once the implementation is completed, after that, what will happen, guys? Now Tata Motor will approach the IT companies for support. Let's suppose in Tata Motor, IBM has done this implementation. So most likely, once the implementation is completed, then support project also will be given to IBM itself. In the sense, Tata Motor will say now, so implementation is completed, so kindly give us support. And of course, there will be a contract for a particular durations, maybe for 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, whatever it is. Okay. So once again, negotiations will be there between Tata Motor and IBM. So IBM will give support to Tata Motor. So support means now if any error is taking place, it will be solved by SAP consultant from IBM. If any requirement is there, let's suppose to make some changes in the report, will be done by SAP consultant, right? So, and multiple in terms of configurations, let's suppose if they have to create a new terms of payment, if they have to set up certain house bank, okay, what is this terms of payment, what is house bank? These all like these all are the topic, guys. When I start the configurations practical session, then you guys will be having idea about these all topics. Okay, so it will be done by consultant. So in support project, what is happening, guys? Look at here, post implementation. After implementation, of course, now Tata Motor required support. So all the SAP related maintenance and error activity comes under support project. Okay. Here consultant means you people just receive the ticket. Ticket means what, guys? You guys are going to receive the errors or requirement. That errors or requirement is called tickets. Okay. So here consultant just receive the tickets, solve them and send them back to the client. Okay. So if you are a SAP consultant, so you will be receiving the requirement from client. If any error has taken place, client will just take the screenshot of that error and client will send this. Of course, there'll be a procedure. Okay, there'll be a procedure how to raise the requirement, how to raise the ticket, but ultimately it will be assigned to you. And what do you have to do? First of all, you have to analyze the error, right? By looking into error message, first of all, you have to analyze, and after that, you have to provide the solutions. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, guys. First of all, if you have to do analysis, so analysis can be done only if you have perfect, knowledge about SAP. Okay, thorough knowledge about SAP. First of all, see, I'll tell you guys, because there are multiple institutions are there in the market. Okay, everybody are focusing just they are teaching the basic things only, and that's the reason, like here, so lots of people are lacking in terms of basic knowledge. Daily basis I receive multiple calls, messages from different candidates, right? And I have found like almost 90% of the people are having just the basic knowledge. So with basic knowledge, nothing will happen, guys. You must be having pretty good knowledge. You must be having in-depth knowledge, right? So that you guys will be able to crack the interview also. And the most important thing is survival. So you guys will be able to survive also, right? So if knowledge is there, 100% job will be there and 100% survival also will be there. And if knowledge itself is not there, guys, then no matter whatever promises are made by any institutions, even including me also, right? If I made 100 of promises, nothing is going to be, so nothing will happen, right? So focus on knowledge. Okay. Now, so, and as I said, like, no need to worry here. I'm going to explain everything in details, and that too with pretty simple and easy examples, so that you guys will be having perfect understanding. Okay. So this is what is happening here in support project, guys. So now we are having 4 types of project: implementations, rollout, upgrade, and support. And what is happening in every project here, I have explained theoretically. Once we proceed further, once I start like practical session, then you guys will be having more clarity on this. Hi guys, welcome back. So now here in this session, I'll explain what is the difference between ECC and S4HANA. Okay. The reason behind explaining this topic is even multiple time, even I have also received multiple call from candidates saying that, sir, I have to learn SAP FICO and I have to learn S4HANA also. So it means most of the people, most of the candidate, they don't know that FICO is a module name and S4HANA is the SAP version name. Okay. So if we talk about SAP versions, so let me explain first of all this one. So guys, now at present we are having 2 versions of SAP which is there in the market, that is called SAP ECC and SAP S4HANA. Again, in S4HANA also multiple releases are there. In SAP ECC also multiple releases were there, right? EHP 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So we will not go in those, what do you say, this one. But yes, at broader level here, SAP ECC and SAP S4HANA, these are the 2 versions of SAP which is there in the market. So what is the difference? The difference is, guys, S4HANA is the latest one. Okay. S4HANA is the latest one and ECC become old one compared to S4HANA. Okay, before ECC also certain versions were there in the market, guys. See, I'll tell you one thing. Whichever the companies are there, whichever, not only software, guys, whichever like, organizations are giving any kind of, technology or technical, selling technical things and all. So they keep on improving the performance. If you talk about this ERPs only, right? So improvement is like it's a continuous activity. They have to keep on improving the things. right? Then only they will be able to, manage their existence in the market, or else like the new players are keep on coming in the market by lots of new functionality. Recently, uh, AI came into market, right? If you talk about 3 years back, 4 years back, artificial intelligence, people are not aware about these things. We don't know like what is this artificial intelligence, and nothing was there. But all of a sudden, this AI came, and in an entire market, like lots of changes happen, right? And there is a threat on several industries nowadays. If you talk about earlier, there was a particular role, particular jobs were there for what? For content writer. Nowadays, do you think that the content writer or writing things are required, and we need to hire a resource for that? Not at all, right? Because whatever content will be written by one individual, I think this AI is going to do the same. Just you need to give a command that okay, I want a content for so and so things, and the result will be there, right? So this is, I have quoted one example. Okay, so now again, the lots of people says that okay, AI came, so the jobs are going to be, like lots of, there'll be impact on several jobs, right? What about SAP? SAP will not be having impact, guys. Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing is like, even whenever new technology comes, always people say that jobs will not be there, there won't be jobs. When the computer was introduced like first time in the market long back, and those days also people used to say the same thing. So I'll tell you guys, technologies are keep on coming, and of course it will be having impact on certain what do you say, industry or certain things. But again, lots of new opportunity also will be coming into market. Okay, now so here ECC become old version and S4HANA is the new version. ECC also is being used by organization in the market. Okay, so whichever the support projects are there, because most of the clients where the implementations already done long back. Long back means almost like 10 years back, 15 years back, 20 years back. So there all the implementations were done on SAP ECC version, whereas all the new implementations are happening on S4HANA. Okay, because these are the latest version, right? S4HANA. So now the old implementations which happen on ECC version, of course, they required support. So the multiple support projects are still there on ECC version itself. Okay, so what is the difference? Look at here. I have written like in a very short, I have specified. So SAP ECC compatible with various database. See, when we talk about what do you say, this one, SAP ECC or S4 HANA. So when we do the configurations, right, or else when the people are processing, like this is ERP, which will be used by an organization. Let's suppose Tata Motor. There we have like done the implementations. So when the Tata Motor is going to process entire their day-to-day activity, those things will be stored somewhere, right? Somewhere they'll be, it is going to be stored somewhere. So a database is required, right? So for ECC, generally what is happening, guys, SAP was not having their own database. So they used to use third-party database like Oracle database, DB2 was there, and various other database they were using. So in ECC version, what is happening, guys? SAP was not having their own database. But when the new versions were launched, right? So they introduced their own database that is called HANA database. And that's the reason like the new version name was like S4 HANA. So here ECC was, look at here, compatible with various database. It depends upon client which database they are going to use. But now SAP S4 HANA means SAP has introduced their exclusive database that is called HANA database. So now the entire packages with is coming with like, it's not like that people will say that I'm going to use a different database. Of course, everybody, whoever is there, they're going to use this HANA database itself. Okay, so that is the first difference. In ECC, different database was there, but in S4 HANA, now what is happening, guys? SAP is having their own database, that is HANA database is going to be used. Now this is like in memory database. Okay, so the second difference is in ECC we were using like traditional interface. Traditional interface means SAP GUI. Look at here, guys, this one, This is called SAP GUI. In the sense, this is login pad, right? Login pad means here first of all, I need to open this application, and then we'll be able to, then you can give the user ID and password, right? So this is called SAP GUI. GUI means graphic user interface. In the sense, simple, it's very simple, guys. You can say SAP application. We need to install SAP application first, right? And in that, we have to specify the server details. Okay, server details we have to specify, and then after we have to log in, right? Then after we have to log in. But here in S4 HANA, what is happening? If you talk about S4 HANA, then in S4 HANA, of course, GUI option is available, and SAP has introduced a new interface that is called SAP Fiori. So Fiori means generally what happened now here. So this one, like application, even if you don't install this application, then also we can log in. Okay, just let me do one thing here, guys. So somewhere, like look at here. Here I'll click on Fiori. Let me close these things. Okay, so look at here, guys. So now this is web based, in the sense, simply I have, like, we have to open our Google Chrome, right? And here, of course, you have to specify the way you guys are going to specify a website, right? In that way, this is a link which I have already given here. I have just made it bookmark, and here we can give the user ID and password, and then you will be able to log in. So generally what happened, guys, now, so the installation of SAP application is not needed. Of course, SAP has given both options. We can use GUI or we can use Fiori applications. Okay. So this is the additional. So this is like modern and role-based this user interface. Role-based user interface means what is happening now. Let's suppose if we open this Fiori application, right? Once we open this Fiori applications, then lots of things will be there, guys, within that. Now, role based means what? Say, for example, if somebody is the part of P2P, right? So when that guy will log in into Fiori applications, then whichever activity belongs to P2P, like let's suppose PO creation, okay, PO creation, goods receipt posting, invoice receipt posting, right, payment posting, okay, vendor open item reports, right? So these kind of activity, or master data, vendor master data maintenance, so these are the different activity which belongs to P2P. So what happened, guys? So only those kind of see here, if I log in here, press enter. Okay, so now, so it's taking some time in loading. So generally what happened, so now, so as I said, if somebody is the part of like P2P, then these activity will be visible. Okay, these activity will be visible in the sense that guy can be able to perform this activity, right? So additional things will not be visible here since he belongs to P2P, right? Likewise, if somebody is from O2C, order to cash, isn't it? So O2C related activity only will be visible here. Let me come here. Still it is taking time, guys. I have logged in after long interval, so it's taking time to load. Actually, the things will appear here, no need to worry. So generally what happened, so this is the benefit. So P2P means these activity will be visible over there. Different tiles will visible, where like PO creation, GR posting, IR posting, payment posting, vendor reports, like that. If somebody is from O2C, then those activity, in the sense sales order, that guy has to create the sales order, right? Then sales order related tiles will appear. Then what to say, again, goods receipt, in the same way, goods issue, that is PGI, post goods issue, that will appear, right? Here invoice receipt, there like billing, what to say, this one tiles will appear. Then payment means customer payment. Again, customer open item reports, right? These things will appear. Okay, it's taking time again to fetch the data. So look at here. These are the different tiles. Okay, different tiles in the sense like, okay, so here like manage GL account, master data. This is related to GL. So now multiple things are appearing for me, but generally role based means a user belongs to this team. So this team related whatever the activities are there, those things only will appear over there, right? So it become quite simple. It become quite simple. Okay. Now, so here traditional GUI in the sense traditional interface means SAP application supposed to be installed. And here what is happening, guys? SAP GUI plus SAP Fiori is launched by SAP. Okay. Now then ECC is bit slower compared to S4 HANA. Okay, if we have to fetch a particular report, so whatever time is being taken by ECC, S4 HANA will, we can fetch the same report through S4 HANA with a very less time span, right? So this is like bit slower compared to S4 HANA. S4 HANA is faster due to in-memory computing. So generally what is happening, guys, here disk-based processing. Disk-based processing means here like you can say like when you store something, it is going to be stored in hard disk. Here what is happening, guys, data is stored and processed directly in the main memory that is called RAM of the computer. Okay, so here in S4 HANA, guys, in ECC, RAM size, less RAM size will be there, that's fine, but in S4 HANA, the RAM size will be more actually. Now, then the next one is, look at here, ECC. ECC version means on-premise. On-premise means generally what is happening, all the infrastructure, right? SAP server, if we, like, let's suppose if Tata Motor has to use this SAP, right? So SAP server related, whatever the infrastructure required, right? Infrastructure, whichever infrastructure is required, that will be maintained by that particular organization itself. Now in S4 HANA, what is happening? So on premise, of course, it will be there, and even cloud functionality also will be there. Okay. So on premise or cloud. Okay. So cloud services can be given by third party. Third party means it will be maintained by third party. Okay, so let's suppose if Tata Motor don't want to maintain the infrastructure, that's fine. That can be maintained by a different player. Okay, so that option is there here, isn't it? So now cloud functionality, like let's suppose you have to use, say for example, you guys are going to use this SAP, right? When I buy, so like I have to buy the user ID for you people. So what is happening, guys? That user ID, that infrastructure is being maintained by somebody, but we are going to use it. Okay, now so that is the things. Now here when I say like on premise or cloud, so again what is the difference between on premise and SAP cloud? So that I'll explain here now. So look at here, the first thing, hosting. Okay, so what is this hosting, guys? Hosting means like let's suppose website hosting, you can say, right? If you have to like build a house, so for that you need a land, isn't it? So now here generally on premise, for on premise, installed and run on company's own server, but SAP Cloud hosted on SAP servers. Okay, so on premise means all the control and ownership will be there with the company itself, but here in cloud, okay, third party. Ownership, of course, look at here, company own and manage the infrastructure and software, everything, whatever infrastructure, software, whichever systems are required, everything's are owned by company, right? And that is going to be managed by company. Here, what is happening? SAP manage everything for you. Either SAP or even third parties are there also into picture, guys. So SAP or any third party is going to manage everything for you. Of course, they'll be charging for that, right? They'll be charging for that, but compared to on premise, the cost will be less. Okay, now here customizations means what, guys? Let's suppose we have a report. Okay, so there is a report. Now in that report, generally what happened, like there is a report here which we are going to get through SAP. Tata Motor says, so let's suppose a standard report means these are the three columns are coming. Okay, so Now SAP is, so here Tata Motor is saying that we have to add one additional here, what is called row or column. So we'll do one thing. Okay. So Tata Motor is saying that as per their requirement, one additional column supposed to be added here. That is what the requirement by Tata Motor. It means standard was different, right? But they want to customize as per their requirement. They want to make some changes, right, in the standard report. So that is called customizations. You have purchased a vehicle. So vehicle means, let's suppose a four-wheeler. It is having standard shape, size, everything is standard, right? But when you come out of the showroom and you went to somewhere like outside shop and you are going to say like, so you simply said that I need some additional decorations. So what does it mean? It means that is customizations, right? We are customizing it as per our requirement. So here in SAP also, if client want any kind of customizations on premise, it is highly customizable. But cloud, limited customizations, right? Especially in public cloud. That also I'll explain what is the difference between public cloud and private cloud. Cloud is also having like two part, guys. Two different parts will be there, public and private. Okay. So now, so limited customizations will be there, guys. Okay. On premise means it is having like more customizations, whereas public here cloud means limited customizations will be there. Okay. Now here, if like let's suppose, so I said like here one additional column supposed to be added. Okay. So if it is on premise, all the decision maker is Tata Motor because entire ownership belongs to Tata Motor. But on cloud limitations are there. Why? That you guys will come to know now. So that is the things. Customizations are limited. Updates. So look at here. Updates means, of course, like SAP will keep on adding the new functionality, and that new functionality can be availed or used by, like client once they update the version, right? Once they go for, in the sense, what if they update it, then only. So look at here. Updates means controlled by customers. In the sense, in on-premise, what is happening? Tata Motor is going to control everything. Okay. It means you decide, in the sense, Tata Motor decide when they have to go for upgradations. If they don't want to go for upgradations, that's fine. That is totally their choice. That is totally their decision. That they are pretty much happy with the current version, and then it's okay. They are happy with that, so they don't want to upgrade it right now. It's okay, they can. But cloud means what is happening, guys? It's shared by multiple players, so that's the reason generally what happened. So frequent updates. Okay, so update happen automatically, quarterly or semi-annually, every quarter or every after 6 months. So it will be updated automatically. Why? Because let's suppose if there is a particular, a shared things are there. Shared things means it is being shared among lots of people. So let's suppose 20 people are sharing a same, like let's suppose thing. So generally what happen? Same infrastructure. So one guy cannot oppose like, okay, I don't want to go for upgrades or something. If like, or five people are saying I don't want to go for upgradations, whereas 15 people are saying that I have to go, or vice versa. So SAP is saying that no, there is no any such kind of things. Automatically upgradations and updations will happen. Okay. If anybody is having problem, if anybody don't want to go for upgradations, right, better to go for on premise. In the sense, you better build your own infrastructure at your own place, and then you are going to be 100% honor of that. In the sense, land is your, and on that land, if you are going to construct a building, that's fine. Now if there is a kind of, what to say, a complex is there in the apartments, big apartment is there, so in that multiple people are there. If somebody at ground floor want to do a customization at their floor, right, so of course he has to take care that, okay, if customization is happening small, that's fine, but if there is impact on the entire, there should not be any impact on the entire, what to say, this one building, right? So again, so updates, of course, here happen automatically, quarterly and semi-annually. Then cost, of course, like large cost will involve here in on-premise, guys, because ownership, everything. So that's what, like, let's suppose if you have purchased a personal land, and on that, if you are going to construct a building, right? and there is like one developer is there. They have purchased a piece of land, and on that they are building the apartment. So the cost will be different, right? So here the cost, on-premise cost is more, and here this is cloud cost will be less. Okay. Now, so then implementation time. Of course, implementation time also it's going to take more, because look at here, due to it's going to be longer. Implementation time is going to be longer due to what? Due to infrastructure setup, guys, right? Infrastructure setup and customizations. Of course, client want different kind of customizations also. So infrastructure we have to set up, customizations we have to do lots of customizations, development, right? And apart from this, of course, standard configurations will be there. But here in SAP Cloud, it is going to be faster, right? Because lots of standard things we have to do. Customization scopes are quite less. So where if less customizations are there, then what is happening, guys? It means very soon we can complete the implementations, isn't it? And lots of pre-configured standard things are there which can be used here in the cloud. Okay. Security. If you talk about the security, guys, security, look at here, handled by your internal team, IT team. So compared to like cloud, it is more secure. People are feeling that entire things are there, like it is being handled by our own, let's suppose, IT team. Whereas SAP Cloud means handled by SAP or some third party service provider, right? So now control is there. In other hand, that's the reason here flexibility means, look at here, more control over system. On-premise means entire control is there in the hand of Tata Motor, right? Because see, if you talk about big organizations, they are very much concerned about their data, right? They don't want that the data control will be there in the somebody's hand, isn't it? So that's the reason. Now, so generally what happened? More control over system, but higher maintenance. Of course, higher maintenance will be there, right? And here, less control over backend. Less control over backend in the sense like, since it is, let's suppose, being managed by someone, isn't it? Let's suppose you have like a particular asset is there, right? Now what is happening? So you have built a very strong room at your own property, and then you are keeping your all assets in that. You are having your all the security guards, so everything. It means you have the total 100% control. Now here what is happening? Let's suppose you don't want to maintain the infrastructure, you don't want to hire the security and all because of cost, and you kept somewhere, like you just taken, you just hired, in the sense rented a particular locker in the bank, and you're going to keep over there. So even though that is your personal, but the thing is like that is being maintained by somebody else, isn't it? So that is the differences, guys. Okay. Now, okay. So this is what the difference between on-premise and SAP Cloud. In SAP Cloud also, guys, we are having two things: public cloud and private cloud. Okay. First of all, on-premise and SAP Cloud means, on-premise means, as I said, it is like 100% ownership belongs to Tata Motor. Cloud means it is being maintained by, infrastructure is going to be maintained by somebody else, either SAP or third party. So in cloud also, again, SAP has divided into like cloud also, they are saying that public cloud and private cloud. Okay. So public cloud means generally what happened. So look at here. So ownership, okay, provided and managed by, here generally what happens. So it is of course third party, but generally what happened. Okay, so public cloud means third party, and here also it is going to be managed by SAP or third party. But generally what happened? So the infrastructure here, whatever the infrastructure is there, guys, okay, that will be shared by multiple client. But here what is happening, guys? Infrastructure that is managed by third party, but exclusively can be used by one organization, right? It will be managed by, third party, but exclusively can be used by one organizations. Okay. Now, and maintained externally means, it's like Tata Motor no need to build the infrastructure, no need to, like whatever the systems are there, whatever like resources are required to maintain that, right? So those things will be done by third party. Now, so look at here, access, shared access, multiple organizations are going to use it. Public cloud will be used by multiple organization. So that's the reason I said that if you talk about the customization, I said like this is the standard report where only 3 columns are there. Now Tata Motor says that I need to add one additional one. So guys, if we are going to add additional one, the impact will be for everybody. The impact will be for everybody, isn't it? So here, what about the other player? Are they ready for that? No, most likely some of them will oppose. So that's the reason here list options are there for the customizations, isn't it? Let's suppose you have purchased what do you say a car, right? Which is having like 4 partners are there in that. So now if you have any wishes that I want to customize in this way or that way, so you're not the single owner of that. So you can't do, isn't it? You need to have the permissions and acceptance from other people also. Whereas if you own that car, do whatever you want. In whichever way you want to, if you want to change the color, if you want to do whatever it is, you can do it because you are the single owner. Whereas if you have like in shared in the sense like in partnership means other people also must be ready, right? So that's the reason here the customizations, as I said, like in public clouds, of course, very limited. In private cloud, up to some extent, yes, it is there. So access means shared by multiple organizations. Here, single tenant means used by a single organizations, right? Now, cost. Pay as you go model. No need to buy or maintain the hardware here. Generally, what is happening? So cost is less, guys. In public cloud, of course, it is less, right? And generally, pay as you go model means as per your usage, you guys are going to pay. Whereas here, private cloud means it is higher. Okay, cost compared to public cloud, it is higher, right? Higher initial investment, including hardware maintenance, and so these things are being maintained by third party itself, but it is being like these things are dedicated to a particular client only, right? So that's the reason compared to public cloud, private cloud is costly. And if you talk about on premise is more costly, right? Okay. Now, so scalability. So scalability, guys, what is this scalability? Chalo, thoda a little bit pronunciation, right? Scalability. Scalability means what, guys? Look at here now. So let's suppose right now I'm having 100 users. What is the meaning of that? I'll tell you. We are having 100 users, right? So 100 user is there for this using this SAP server, right? Now after let's suppose 2 years, 3 years, because the organization is expanding. So now instead of 100, there is now 300 users. So the load of 300 users are there on the same server, isn't it? So because now the number of users become more. Earlier 100 users were using this what is a server. Now 300 users are there, 400 users are there, isn't it? So how much flexible it is to adopt these many users again and without having any performance lagging, any performance related issues, right? So that is called here. Okay, so scalability, right? So it is very high, resources can scale on demand, and here limited compared to the public cloud, but customizable. Okay, so public cloud generally, okay, this is very high in the sense like if more numbers user wise they are charging also, guys. Okay, subscription based model is there now, so they are charging subscription wise, they are charging. So that's the reason here. If there are, let's suppose there are like if more number of users are there, so of course as per that subscriptions wise they have to pay. So there is no lag in terms of performance. But here generally what is happening, guys, here it is the impact will be there because whatever infrastructures were built as per like they have kept in the mind that 100 users are there, so these many rams only, this much ram is required, isn't it? Now all of a sudden 3 times 4 times more are there, more people are there, so they have to increase the ram or whatever the things are there. Okay, now security. So general security provided, but you share the infrastructure with others, of course. Like public cloud means lots of clients are using a shared infrastructure is there. Your security is higher. Okay, so higher control over security. So generally what is happening, because private cloud means a dedicated infrastructure is built for you, whereas public cloud means same infrastructure is used by multiple people, right? So here what is happening, guys, the more security, higher control will be there. Here the less control will be there in public cloud, but in private cloud more control is there. And on premise, most of the control will be there. In the sense, 100% control will be there in your hand only, right? Public cloud, because that is totally your land, your building, everything is there in your hand. Private means, like, let's suppose you have taken the land on lease and then you constructed the building, but after 50 years, after 60 years, after 99 years, you have to hand it over to the original owner, right? Okay. Now, so generally public cloud, look at here, this is best for startup, small, medium business, right? So generally what happened, guys, in the sense, small organizations are there which is having, uh, let's suppose 500 crores revenue. So immediately, like, they cannot spend. If 500 crore revenue is there, or 400 crore revenue is there, and from there if somebody says that you have to spend 10 cr per annum for this SAP and all the maintenance, so it matters because this is a huge amount. So if they go for public cloud, the cost will be less, right? And private cloud, of course, large enterprises who want like more and more security and more and more control, they can go for either private cloud, or they can go for on premise. So again, as I said, all depends upon the budget, how much budget they are having. Okay, so this is what the difference between public cloud and private cloud. Again, I said, like, if you compare like cloud with on premise, right? And so these all things are there on S4 HANA. And here I have explained the difference between ECC and S4 HANA. So this is like old version and this is the new version. And in S4 HANA, we are having three options, that is on premise and then cloud. Cloud is also having divided into two parts, public cloud and private cloud, right? So these are the things. Okay, so I'll stop the recording here itself, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. So now here in this session, I'll explain project phase. So if you guys are able to remember, in previous session, I explained types of SAP project. So in types of SAP project, I have explained implementation project, right? Of course, 4 different type of projects are there, but in implementation project, as I said, like, people are having more focus on implementation project, because if you learn implementation project, guys, it means you have 100% knowledge, 100% steps, configurations will be done here in implementations. That's the reason, like, if somebody is having knowledge of implementation project, then that candidate will be able to work in rollout also, support also, upgradations also. That's the reason people demand for, like, implementation knowledge must be there to the candidate, right? Now, so in implementation, if you talk about, like, okay, so this SAP is supposed to be implemented where? In Tata Motor. Now, see, we have two different version of SAP. Okay, ECC version and we have S4 HANA version. S4 HANA version. Okay, these are two different versions. Before ECC also certain versions were there, guys, but again we will not discuss the history, right? Here this ECC and S4 HANA. Okay, this is called old version and this is the new version. Okay, S4 HANA is new version. So all the new implementations are happening on S4 HANA version, right? And whatever the old implementations were there, like 10 years back, 20 years back, 8 years back, isn't it? So whatever these old implementations were there, that was there on ECC version. Okay. So when the implementation is completed, once the implementation is done, once we have implemented this SAP here in Tata Motor, let's suppose in Tata Motor, once we have implemented this SAP in Tata Motor, then what will happen? After implementations, Tata Motor needs support. We have to support the Tata Motor. Support in the sense, like, since they'll be using SAP, so if they face any issues, if they face any error, who will solve those issues and error? Of course, SAP consultant. So after completion of this implementations, still they need our help. Still they need support, right? So generally what happened? So whatever the old projects are there, old projects where, like, SAP was implemented some 10 years back, 15 years back, 20 years back, right? So these all projects are in support phase, right? So whatever the support projects are there right now, lots of support projects are still using ECC version itself. Okay, even though SAP has given one deadline that SAP will support this ECC version till 2029, right? So till 2029, SAP has given every organizations, whichever organizations are using SAP, to those organizations. So they must have to switch. They must have to migrate from ECC to S4 HANA version. So there is a deadline given by SAP 2029. Till 2029, they have to migrate to the new version, from old version to new version. So of course, this is in the sense they have to upgrade, right? Now, again, there are lots of big players are there in the market, and still they are using old version itself. So what I feel that till 2029, I don't think that every player will be migrating to S4 HANA. Still, there are certain players, certain companies will be there, and if they are on ECC version itself, there might be a chances SAP will increase this deadline. They will make it 2035, right? Or is 2040? It could be. So anyway, now here generally this is not the matter of discussion, guys. Old and new, simply when I configure SAP, so I'll give some explanations during configurations. Okay. Now here, so ECC and S4 HANA. ECC means the support projects are there on ECC version, and new implementations are happening on S4 HANA. Now, when we have to implement SAP, then then what is happening, guys? SAP has given certain framework, or certain, we can say, like SAP has given certain methodology. Certain methodology in the sense, SAP is saying that if you follow this method, then what will happen? The implementations will be like, you can be able to implement this SAP very smoothly, right? And it will increase the speed of your implementations. Because if you talk about Tata Motor, every client will give certain deadline, right? Tata Motor has said like implementation must be done within 8 months. So it must be completed within 8 months itself. We have to achieve our target, in the sense like they have given a target is given by client that within 8 months SAP implementation is supposed to be done. So we have to complete it. So SAP is saying that if you follow this methodology, then what is happening? It will increase the speed. See, now the question is why there is two methodology. ASAP methodology is there and Activate methodology is there. So two methodology was there. When the implementation was happening on ECC version, then ASAP methodology was being followed. Now same implementations, if the same implementation happen on S4 HANA, then Activate methodology supposed to be followed. Both are given by SAP itself. Both are having 5 phases. Okay, 5 phases are there in both ASAP and Activate, and it is quite similar, guys. Okay, it's quite similar. So I'll explain one by one. I'll explain even ASAP methodology also and Activate methodology also, so that you guys will find out the differences. Okay, now, and if anybody asks during interview, then easily you guys will be able to understand the question and you will be able to answer. So here we'll start from ASAP. So once I complete this ASAP, then I'll explain Activate methodology also. As I said, like both are quite similar, so I don't think that there'll be any problem in terms of understanding. I'll explain in details, guys. Look at here. So we have ASAP methodology, accelerated SAP methodology. Okay, so ASAP methodology means, look at here, guys. Now, total how many phases are there? It is divided into 5 phases, that is project preparations, business blueprint, realization, final preparations, go live, and support. Total 5 phases are there. Okay, so it means SAP is saying that whatever implementation is there, that you have to divide into 5 phases. Now, what is the benefit? Of course, there is a benefit, guys. Any activity, any work, if you divide into certain phases, right? Let's suppose you individually got an assignment. So that is going to be divided into certain phases, right? If you divide it into certain phases, then of course within the specified time limit you will be able to achieve your target. Or is like any, take example of building constructions, right? If let's suppose any building is getting constructed, so that is also certain phases are divided. It is divided into certain phases. That in first phase, like whatever the base construction is there, that we have to complete. In second phase, that all the like pillarings and wall constructions will be taking place. In third phase, like let's suppose doors and window installations will be there. In fourth phase, like plasters and paintings will be taking place, right? In that way, they can divide, like certain phases will be there. For every phase, certain deadline will be there. And based on these calculations, they promise to the investors that, okay, if you buy this today, you'll be getting your, so we are going to hand over the ownership exactly after 2 years because this is our plan, right? So SAP implementations, this is also assignment, a project, right? So for this one also, if we divide the entire activity phase wise, then what will happen? We will be able to achieve our objective. Within 8 months, within 7 months, we can be able to complete the implementations. Okay. So the question is this ASAP methodology. ASAP methodology, why ASAP methodology, guys? So look at here. The full form of ASAP is accelerated SAP methodology. Right. So what is the logic behind? The logic is, so look at here. Accelerated SAP methodology means SAP is saying that if you follow this methodology, it will accelerate the implementation speed, right? It will accelerate the implementation speed. What is the synonym of accelerate, guys? Means increase. It will increase the implementation speed. Okay, this is what the benefit. Now, again, if we talk about 5 phases, these are the standard phase given by SAP. We cannot make it 4, we cannot make it 6. Okay, these are the standard phase. So, what is happening in these 5 phases that I have to explain? The first phase is project preparations. So, look at here, we are having project preparations. Now, so look at here, during this phase, the team goes through initial planning and preparations for SAP project, right? During this phase, what is happening, guys? Certain activities. Look at here, this team size and team member. First of all, when you talk about this Tata Motor project, let's suppose this Tata Motor project, okay, it went to IBM. Okay, the Tata Motor project is assigned to IBM. See, when you talk about the project assignment doesn't mean that they finally approached IBM and they have handed over this project to IBM itself. Before that, also certain procedure is there. Okay, when the Tata Motor decided to go for SAP, so now the question is, who will implement this SAP here in Tata Motor? So Tata Motor will invite quotation from different organizations. It could be IBM, Accenture, like Wipro, Infosys, Tech Mahindra. Multiple players are there in the market, guys. A big player itself, several big players are there. Then medium-sized companies are there. Small organizations are also there. Lots of players are there nowadays in SAP implementations and support, right? So Tata Motor has, like, let's suppose, invited quotations from different organizations. So, and everybody has sent their quotations. Now what will happen? So Tata Motor will like compare the quotations and they will find the best deal. And what happened, like they found like IBM has given the best deal, best offer. Okay, now, so it's okay, they decided to go with IBM, right? When you talk about the deals, guys, again, almost like quotations will be when like, let's suppose TCS has sent a quotations worth of a particular amount, and they have given, like, they are giving 1 year free of cost support. IBM has reduced the amount, but IBM is saying that I'll be giving 1 month free of cost support. So altogether, it is going to be quite same, because like after 1 month again, IBM will charge for the support, whereas like TCS was not charging till 1 year. So it's like almost same. But anyway, the company will just like match the quotation, and they found like IBM is having like the best this one offer for them. So the project went to IBM. Once the project went to IBM, then what will happen, guys? A project manager will be, first of all, this project will be allocated to a project manager. Okay, a particular project manager will handle this Tata Motor implementation project. So what to do now? Project manager cannot implement this entire SAP alone. It's a teamwork, right? If you talk about like implementations, so if in the sense like there'll be multiple modules will involve in that. SAP means several modules are there. We are having FI, CO, controlling, SD, sales and distributions, MM, PP, PM, QM, PS. Multiple modules are there, guys, isn't it? Production planning, plant maintenance, project system, quality management. Several modules are there, right? Okay, for every module, there'll be expert, there'll be a consultant. Okay, so now project manager required a team who can implement this SAP here into Tata Motor. Okay. So the first thing is, in first phase, what is happening? First of all, the project manager has to plan about what? What should be the team size, right? What is the size of the team? So first of all, project manager will plan about what? Team size. And then let's suppose if project manager has decided that I need total, look at here, 30 members or 40 members. Okay. Let's suppose initially project manager decided that I need a 30 member to implement this SAP here into Tata Motor. 30 member doesn't mean that it is fixed. Later on, it can be changed also. It can be like they can increase or decrease the member later once the implementation is started. So team size and team member. Team size, let's suppose 30 members. Now the question is, what about those 30 people? Right? Where are those consultants? 30 consultants. So most likely what happened, guys, they'll be getting the members within the organization. Okay. As I said, like, let's suppose I said IBM. Okay. In IBM, there are 5 projects, right? There are, IBM means several projects will be there. They'll be having several thousand, consultant, not only in IBM, in every organizations. I'm talking about big organizations. So from IBM, let's suppose there are 5 projects which is moving out. Moving out means these projects are like these projects like contract is already over, and like these projects are moving out from IBM. So maybe one project went to Infosys, another project went to Tech Mahindra, another project went to TCS, isn't it? So this movement will be always there. Certain projects, moved out to different organizations. In the same way, even IBM is also having their sales and marketing team. So these projects also keep on bidding, new projects. So these people also will be getting. If 5 project went out of the organizations, there are multiple projects are there within the pipeline that is about to come to IBM also, right? So now let's suppose on these 5 projects, let's suppose there are total some 100 or 200 consultants were the part of these 5 projects. So once it went out, then all of a sudden these 200 profile will become the part of free pool, right? Free pool means they don't have any activity to perform. They don't have any work to perform, right? So their profile become the part of free pool. Okay. So free pool means what will happen, guys? Free pool means they'll be simply sitting quiet. They don't have any work to do, but still the company will give them full salary. Okay. And as I said, like multiple projects are there in the pipeline. So that's fine. They will arrange the new projects, isn't it? So now, so what happened? This Tata Motor implementations. So project manager, first of all, will check the free pool. Okay. In free pool, multiple resources are there. From free pool, let's suppose he or she found 27 member from free pool itself. Okay. So 27 member they found from free pool. What about remaining 3? Remaining 3 members they have to hire from outside. Okay. So multiple job portals are there. They will hire from outside. Remaining 3 candidates. So this is how 30 members were arranged. Right? 30 members were arranged here. Now, team size and team member. Okay. Now, again, as I said, like in free pool, generally what happened, guys, when let's suppose project manager has approached certain members here in free pool. So when let's suppose if there is a requirement here for data motor project, so deliberately we cannot invite the candidate that no, you must have to be part of this project. We can't say like that, right? Project manager will give a proposal to the candidate that this kind of project is there. Let me know if you are interested to work on this project. It depends upon employee. The employee who is the part of free pool. Let's suppose this Tata Motor implementations, this project is there at Delhi location, right? And the candidate want a project at Hyderabad location or Bangalore location or Mumbai location. So location related like that is their personal, what to say, this one choice, or some issues are there. So it's okay. They can turn down. They can reject this offer. Okay. But again, for employees also, there are certain, what do you say, this one, uh, restrictions, limitations, rejects, because if they are rejecting the project, so it doesn't mean that they will keep on rejecting the project, right? After certain rejections, they must have to accept whatever the opportunity is there, isn't it? So that's the thing, guys. Now here again, just okay. So now So in free pool, okay, so here generally what is happening, uh, in every organizations, there'll be a resource management team. So resource management team, what is the use of resource management team, guys? The resource management team will take care of the candidates interest or like whatever their requirements are there, like somebody is having locations related issues. So of course at every locations different projects are there, so they will adjust the candidates in there as per their requirement. Of course they will adjust. Okay, so as I said, like three resources they are going to hire from outside. These three resources, again, it can be these three resources can be hired on permanent payroll, or it could be on third party payroll also. Permanent payroll and third party payroll means, permanent payroll means, let's suppose they have hired the candidate on the payroll of IBM. What is the benefit? Now, as I said, like after some time, if there is no project to work, still the IBM will give the full salary and they can, they will be the part of free pool. Even if there is no project for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, there is no problem. People will be getting salary free of cost. There is no any issues, right? It's the headache of IBM to arrange the project for their employee. And of course, big organizations, they are having multiple projects are there in the pipeline. So people will keep on getting the new opportunity, new projects. Now, that is the one thing. Second thing is like third party payroll. If somebody, let's suppose, let's suppose the project manager thought like, okay, there is no any upcoming projects in the pipeline, right? So if I hire these three resources and if there is no any upcoming project after like implementations, what will happen? If there is no any additional project, then why to hire like again the candidates on permanent payroll? So in that case, they can go for third party payroll. Third party payroll means they will be having tie up with certain vendors. Vendors means resource supplier company. Like vCentric is there, Mafia is there, right? Source One is there, and multiple other players are there in the market. So IBM will contact those people that I need three consultant. So these people will hire those consultants at their payroll and they will send it to the IBM, right? So these three people are working on this Tata Motor project, isn't it? Okay, which is being handled by IBM. But these three people are not the employee of direct employee of IBM, guys. They are the employee of that third party company, that is Source One or Mafia or whatever it is. So they are the direct employee of those organizations. What is the benefit for this IBM, guys? The benefit is like once this Tata Motor project is completed, then these three people can be, they will get back to their parent organizations, right? They have nothing to do with the IBM. Okay. But again, on third party payroll, so generally what happened, like let's suppose there are candidates are there working on a particular project and their work is quite good and project manager is impressed. So they will again hire them on their permanent payroll. In the sense they'll convert on their, they will just take this employee on their payroll also. Okay. This is happening. And of course, in past also I've seen like some of my candidate, like they joined on this third party payroll and after 6 months itself, they become the permanent employee based on the performance. Okay. So that is also happening, guys. Anyway, so now, so this is how the project manager is going to arrange the team. So these 30 members, okay, is in the sense like the now the team members are ready. Okay. Now the next one is project planning. What about this project planning? The project planning means, see, now let's suppose total 5 phases are there. So how many days, how many months we have to spend for first phase? How many days or how many months supposed to be spent for second phase, third phase, fourth phase? So certain, like let's suppose project manager has allocated 1 month for phase one. In the sense, phase one must be completed within a month, right? 2 months is allocated for phase two. So phase two is supposed to be completed within that specified deadline, right? So likewise, these kind of, so in the sense like, so first of all there'll be a planning about these phases. Apart from this, like multiple other things will be there, like let's suppose if documents are prepared, because at the time of implementations different documents are also being prepared. So what is the nomenclature of these documents, how it is, because people cannot, like somebody SD people, if SD people has prepared a configuration document, FI people has prepared configuration document, so there'll be a proper nomenclature also. These all things will be planned by project manager. Okay. And now once the planning is completed, then what will happen, guys? Kickoff meeting. Planning doesn't mean that separate time, guys. Planning means anyway the project manager will, what to say, make these entire planning. And after that, what will happen? Kickoff meeting will be taking place. In the sense, like, let's suppose plan is ready. Plan is ready that how we have to proceed further, right? Team size is already decided, and even team members are also selected. Everything is ready. Now here, kick-off meeting. Okay. So what is this kick-off meeting? Kick-off meeting means, what about these 30 people? These 30 people are like some, let's suppose there are certain people from Chennai location, certain people from Bangalore location, some few people from Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai. People are coming from different locations, right? Now they become part of one team. So what will happen, guys? Now here, uh, like an internal meeting will be, that meeting will be conducted where like all the consultants will be there and project manager will be there. Sometime what happened, guys, in this internal meeting, even like the core team members are also invited. Core team member means they are from Tata Motors side. Okay. What is this core team member? That I'll explain in second phase, in business blueprint phase. Okay. So generally internal meeting will be conducted. This is called kickoff meeting. Internal meeting means, see, first of all, these entire consultants. So now let's suppose everybody will introduce themselves like, hi, this is XYZ. I'm having total this much experience. I'm going to lead this project as a finance consultant or CO consultant or SD consultant or MM consultant. Right. So this is how you guys, in the sense, everybody will come to know, okay, he is the FI consultant. She is the MM consultant. This guy is SD consultant. Right. Okay. So this introductions will be there. Apart from this, project manager also will address the meetings. Project manager, first of all, will explain the entire things like what is the nature of this project, what is the expectations, of the client from our side, what is the deadline given by the client for this project, right? How much deadline I have given here for every phase. What is the, when you guys are going to prepare the, any documents, then what should be the nomenclature of configuration document? What should be the nomenclature of your like UT document, IT document, isn't it? So, and multiple other things also will be, right? Escalation matrix and lots of things will be there. That is going to be explained by project manager. Where? In this kickoff meeting. See, kickoff meeting means this is a final meeting, we can say, guys. Generally, what happen if you talk about a football match, right? When a football match begins, like how the match is started, somebody has won the toss and the ball is given to that particular guy. So that guy is going to kick off the ball, and this is how the match begins, right? So here also, kickoff meeting means it's like from this meeting onwards, now people will involve in this entire implementations, right? From here onwards, the actual implementation begins, isn't it? So this is why it is called kickoff meeting. It is an internal meeting where like the consultant and project manager will be there, right? And even as I said, like sometime we invite the core team member also. Okay. Now, okay. So guys, here the power is gone. So I think you guys are offline, but it's still the recording, you guys become offline. But here the recording is happening in offline itself. So recording doesn't have any impact. Now I'm doing the recording here. So I'll complete this first phase, and then second phase I'll explain in next session. So here the first phase means till kickoff meeting. Once the kickoff meeting is completed, the first phase is over. Now what is happening? We are going to enter here in second phase, that is called business blueprint phase. Okay. So first phase, what is happening, guys? In first phase, it is internal meeting. It was there, and here we are having discussions among each other. We don't have any conversations. We don't have any discussion with the client. Actually, what is the main purpose of this one? Of course, we have to implement this SAP for Tata Motor. So of course, we need to interact with the clients also to understand their business process. So that interaction will be, that is going to happen here in second phase. That I'll explain in next session, guys. So in first phase, what is happening? The first phase is ended here till kickoff meeting only. After that, what is happening? In second phase, we have to interact with the client. This is called business blueprint phase. So that I'll explain in next session, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome back. So now I'm explaining project phase. Okay. So ASAP versus Activate methodology. So in previous session, so I have explained this ASAP methodology, and that to first phase project preparations. So what is happening in project preparations, guys? First phase means initial planning, right? So these things I have already explained: team size, team member, project planning, kickoff meeting, so these things. Okay, so first phase is completed. Once the first phase is completed, then we have moved to second phase, that is business blueprint phase. Okay, so in this phase, look at here what I have specified. In this phase, consultant will have discussion with their respective department member, that is called core team member, regarding business process. Okay, now first of all, what is happening, guys? Let's suppose, so the entire team, okay, so what for this entire team is gathered together, what for this kickoff meeting is done? Of course, like for this SAP implementations, where we have to implement the SAP in Tata Motor. So the first thing is, in Tata Motor, implementation doesn't mean that once, like let's suppose, once the team is built and everything is ready, server is ready, then what will happen? First of all, it's not like blindly we are going to start the configurations, right? First of all, we need to understand the whatever the process is there of Tata Motor, what all activities are being performed by these people, isn't it? So first of all, like we need to understand, okay, finance department, what kind of transactions are posted by finance department. So let's suppose account payable, account receivable, JV postings are happening, tax related transactions are getting posted, isn't it? So first of all, we need to understand their process, right? So look at here. So again, so in this page, consultant will have a discussion with their respective department member, okay, regarding the business process. So let's suppose we need to know about their process. Process means finance team, what kind of, how many activities are being performed by finance department. Okay, so as I said, like they are doing, like they're posting customer invoices, vendor invoices, customer credit memo, vendor credit memo. Then payments related transactions are getting posted, tax related transactions are getting posted, right? Asset related transactions are there, depreciation posting is there, isn't it? Cash related transactions are getting posted separately. So multiple such kind of activities are done by finance team. But again, so if you talk about the discussion related to these activity, we need to check with any one verbal discussion supposed to be there. So in finance department, let's suppose there are total 200 member. Okay, so whom to discuss? If I have to ask, whom to ask? That is the question, because we cannot discuss individually with all 200 people one by one, or is it is going to take 1 year completely in this discussion itself, right? So generally what happen? So there will be from every department, okay, from every department there will be one particular person will be appointed by from client side, okay, by Tata Motor. So we are having different department. Let's suppose, so as I said, like finance department, right? Then we are having sales department, then we are having purchase department, HR department, right? So from every department there'll be one representative, a representative, a person who is going to represent the finance department, right? You can say representative means what, guys? Leader. Let's suppose there is a crowd of people demanding certain things. So if, let's suppose, so here if somebody need to discuss, and so if somebody need to discuss about their demands or something from administration side, then what will happen? They are not going to discuss with the entire crowd, right? So the crowd will elect a person as a leader, and with that leader the discussions will happen, right? And if administration is giving certain kind of, let's suppose, offer or something, so it is being given to the offer and sorry, leader, and leader will convey their entire team. This is what is happening everywhere, right? So same thing is there. Finance department is having 200 people. Now if I need to know anything, if I need certain informations, if I need to discuss something, so there'll be one representative from finance team, there'll be a representative, and we have to, consultant has to discuss with that particular representative, right? And if we need any informations, okay, what kind of informations are required, guys? Once I start the just be on mute, guys, because something, Vijay, be on mute because noise will be coming, okay, and noise will be recorded in the video also. Now, so Okay, and I'll tell you guys, if anybody is having any questions, you can either you can just message your question here, right? Here you can message the questions, or else at the end of the session you can ask the question. Okay, because here if I'm going to explain your question in between, in the sense in the middle of the session, then that we are diverted from topic, right? So that is the best option, guys. Okay, so now here, so finance, sales, purchase, and HR. So from every team there will be one representative. Okay, and if we need any informations, then we are going to discuss with the representative, and this guy will collect the informations from team, and this guy will pass on the informations to us. This is what the simple concept. So this representative itself is called core team member. Okay, core team member. It is core team member means in short form CTM. Okay, core team member or CTM is what? Is that particular representative who is going to represent the entire finance team. Okay, and core team member. So you as a consultant, let's suppose you become a part of implementation project, and if you need to discuss something, okay, let's suppose we have to do a particular configurations, and I need or you need certain informations. Okay, so you need to approach core team member, and core team member will gather the informations from team, and that will be passed on to you. Okay, so this is what the use of core team member. So look at here, I have written in this page what happened. Consultant will have a discussion with the respective department member, right? That is called core team member, regarding the business process, right? So this is what is happening. Now look at here, we'll record the entire requirement in a document which is called blueprint. Now when I say like finance team is doing multiple activity, so which activities, right? So even those things supposed to be documented also. We have to specify in a document what is the benefit. The benefit is, let's suppose if we have like verbal discussions with the core team member, and core team member said like, okay, we are performing 25 activity total, finance team. Okay, so this is what, like, the input we got from core team member, and we started our configurations for these 25 activity itself, right? We started doing our configurations that yes, these are the 25 activity performed by finance team, so we have to configure these things into SAP, and we have to hand over. And after that, what happened? The core team member is saying that no, I didn't say 25, I said like 28 or 27. Then what will happen? Right? They have added additional 3. So again, there'll be a problem for us. The client has given a deadline, isn't it? Client has given a deadline of 8 months or 7 months. So that's the reason. Generally, what happened? First of all, whatever the discussions are happening, whatever input we have received from core team member, that is supposed to be documented also. It is recorded somewhere in a document. Okay, that these are the requirements we have received. So we have to deliver this one only. So we have to prepare a blueprint. Okay, blueprint means what, guys? Blueprint is a document where we are going to specify the deliverables. Deliverables means whatever we have to configure, that we are going to specify in a document. So documented. Why it is going to be documented, guys? Because we have specified. Let's suppose we had a discussion with the core team member, right? We listen everything. We have documented also that okay, these are the things we discussed and we agreed upon, right, to deliver these 25 activity as you said. And after that, what will happen? There'll be a sign off process. Sign off process means core team member will put their signature, consultant also will put their signature, right? It means we agreed upon these 25 activity only. So it means now the requirement is logged. Logged in the sense now no more further requirement will be, what to say, accepted from our side, isn't it? So once the requirement is, we can say like requirement is frozen. We have specified these whatever discussions happen with the core team member. We have prepared a document, and there we've specified that these are the things which is going to be delivered. Okay, and then finally signature and everything is done. And then after, what will happen, guys? We can start the configurations. Okay. So in blueprint phase, generally what happen? Discussions will be taking place, document preparations will be taking place, blueprint document we have to prepare, and the sign off also will be taking place, so that in future they cannot increase the demand. Okay, because we can show that, look at here, these are the documents which we are having, and this is what we agreed upon, right? So nothing further can be added. If any further demand is there, then once the implementation is completed, once the go live is done, then after you can approach. Once we move in the support phase, then whatever small requirements are there, that will be covered over there. Okay, so this is what is happening. Okay, there is one more thing, guys. In blueprint, generally what happened? So in blueprint, okay, blueprint, we have prepared a blueprint document. Okay, we have prepared a document that is sent to the client. Client in the sense, core team member, that this is what the document I have prepared. Just go through the document, and once they finalize, then what will happen? We are going to take the printout of that particular document and for sign off. Okay, so generally what happened? Let's suppose the first document which we have sent to the what is a CTM, core team member, is rejected. They have suggested some modifications in the document. So first we have done, first document is sent. Let's suppose they have suggested certain modifications. We did the modifications. Again, second time is going to be sent, right? Again, they said like another some modifications, that is also done. Third time we have sent. So third time is accepted. So whatever, like what to say, let's suppose we have sent the first document. Document will be having a kind of nomenclature also. Like let's suppose here, first of all, which document? Okay, so this is business blueprint. Okay, for which module? FI, right? This is for Tata Motor. And then version also we have to specify, guys, 1.0. Okay, so this is, let's suppose this is rejected. So this is called draft version. Again, we have changed the we have made some modifications, guys, right? We have made some modifications, and now again we have sent it to the client. So modification means now it is going to be here 1.1. This is also draft version. Okay, because this one was also rejected by client. And then again we have made another modifications. We changed the version, and this is sent, and this is accepted by client. So this is called final version. Okay, so we have to take the printout of always the final version printout we have to take for sign off. Okay, so once the sign off is done, it means the whatever requirements are there, further requirements will not be accepted. Now we have to focus on the configuration part. Okay, so this is what is happening, guys, actually. Now, so in blueprint, all these document preparations and discussions are taking place. Okay, once it is done, once the sign off is done, then our second phase is finished. Then what happened? We are moving to the next phase, that is called a realization phase. Okay, now, so what is happening in realization phase? Look at here, the purpose of this phase is to implement all the business process requirement based on the blueprint. In the sense, whatever discussions happen in the blueprint, we have recorded multiple activity. So those we have to configure into SAP. Till now, what we have done, guys, till now, we have prepared just a blueprint, right? Let's suppose if you talk about the building constructions. So initially what is happening? Initially, the blueprint of that building is prepared. A map will be there, right? How many stories are there at each floor? Like how many bedrooms will be? How many flats will be there in every flats? How many bedroom is there? How many like multiple things will be there, right? So this is, first of all, a blueprint will be prepared, and based on the blueprint, the constructions will be started, right? So the same thing is applicable here in SAP also. First of all, our blueprint is prepared. If we have to do the configurations in SAP, lots of configuration steps are there, right? And even multiple country specific settings are also there. So first of all, we need to know that how much we have to, like what activity we have to configure, what we have to handle. Of course, like I'll tell you guys, 90%, 95% of the standard activities are there that everybody knows, but still this is the part, and then this is the like this is how the process work. We need to check, we need to confirm, right? We need to get this information from client itself. They have to confirm, isn't it? See, process, mostly the processes are standard everywhere throughout the world. No matter whichever organizations are there, every organization will be having these departments, right? Okay, so finance department, which consultant will discuss? FI consultant will discuss with the finance core team member. SD consultant will discuss with the sales, right? Sales team core team member. Consultant is going to discuss, with the purchase, what do you say, department, CTM, isn't it? So these things are happening. And when we talk about the process, everywhere throughout the world, 95% of the activities are standard only, right? GL is there, account payable, account receivable, asset accounting. So everywhere, slight differences are there in terms of tax related configurations, right? Here it is GST, somewhere the VAT is there, but there also, like, and different tax percentage will be there, right? But once you understand the configurations, it's okay. Somewhere we are configuring the things in the form of GST. That's fine. In a different country, let's suppose if you're the part of a project which belongs to a different country where instead of GST VAT is there, that's fine. We can do even that also. Okay. So, and even tax related configurations also will be there. So once I start those topic, you guys are going to be pretty much confident. No need to worry. Okay. So till now, what happened? Till now, just we have made a plan. We have drawn a picture on like let's suppose on a paper. But what about the actual? What do you say? This one working. The actual working is not started yet. Actual working is starting in this third phase. Now it's time to construct the building, right? So in terms of SAP language, it's time to start the configurations. Okay. So here the configurations are, again, configurations means multiple things we have to configure, right? So let's suppose we are having in account payable, we are having like APP, automatic payment program. Okay, this is a unique what do you say activity, guys, that we have to configure. Okay, we are having dunning that we have to configure, validation, substitutions, bank reconciliation, cash journal, right? Integrations are there. So multiple activities are going to be done, and these things will be discussed one by one practically. Once I complete this one, then after. Now, okay, so configurations will be done, and then testing. Now, I'll tell you guys, when you talk about testing, so after configurations, let's suppose if I configured automatic payment program, APP, in short form it is called APP. So if we configured APP, then what will happen? How you guys will come to know that whatever configurations we have done is working fine? So we have to test it. Okay. Okay. Or is anything, like let's suppose we have done account payable basic setting. Okay, account payable, let's suppose basic setting. Account payable basic setting. So if account payable basic setting we have completed, then how you guys will come to know that whatever configurations we have done is perfect? So we have to perform certain testing. What kind of testing, guys? We will post certain dummy vendor invoice to check whether it is working fine or not, right? So testing also supposed to be done, guys. We have to perform the testing to check our configuration is perfect or not, or there is an issue, right? So testing we have to perform. So what is happening? Configuration and testing. Look at here. Now in testing I have specified UT and IT. UT and IT. What is this UT and IT, guys? I'll tell you. So if you talk about testing, so in that we are having UT. UT stand for unit test, and IT stand for integration test. Integration test. Now again, what is this unit test? What is this unit test, and what is this integration test, guys? I'll explain. See, if you talk about unit test, then here let's suppose we have done certain configurations. GL setting, right? We have done the configurations for cash journal. We have done the configurations for APP, dunning, right? We have done the configurations for a topic called validation. Okay. So different, these are the different topic which will be configured one by one. Well, of course, one by one we have to do, guys. So here, look at here, we have done these configurations. Okay. Then once we have done the configurations, once we have done this configuration, after that we have to perform testing, right? In the same way, we have to configure cache journal. Once this one is done, once this one is completed, we have done the configurations, testing is done, and we found everything is fine. Then we can move further. Now we have to configure the cache journal. So we'll perform the configurations. Again, we have to perform the testing. So what is happening, guys, here? One by one, unit by unit, isn't it? Look at here, unit by unit, configuration is happening, and unit by unit, testing is also happening, right? So it is happening one by one. Okay, so that is the reason generally what happen if you talk about unit test. Okay, so unit test means, look at here, what is the meaning of unit test? So these all are the example of unit test. Okay, these all are the example of unit test. We have done the configuration of GL setting, we have performed the testing. Okay, again we have done the configuration of cache journal, APP, dunning, validation, substitutions. One by one we have done the configurations, and one by one we have done the testing. So look at here, this is one unit, this is another unit, this is another unit, right? This is another unit. So unit by unit the configuration is happening, and unit by unit the test is also happening, isn't it? So this is called unit test. Okay, this is called unit test, UT. Now we are having integration test. Okay, integration test means, let's suppose we have a process called P2P. Okay, P2P. What is this P2P, guys? Can anybody tell me? What is this P2P? Anyone? Any idea? Simple, guys. Which one? Okay. Yes. Okay. Now here there is a reply, account payable. Okay. So now, guys, generally, so P2P stand for procure to pay, right? Procure to pay. Now, so P2P stand for procure to pay. Let's suppose there is an organization, Tata Motor itself. So Tata Motor, if Tata Motor has to procure something, if Tata Motor has to purchase, let's suppose, raw material. So in our case, as an individual, generally what happen? You guys will simply visit the shop. You will visit 2-3 shop, right? Let's suppose you have to buy a laptop. So you'll visit some 2-3 shop, right? You guys are going to collect certain quotations from the shops, because nowadays what is happening, guys? Let's suppose you visited a common place where lots of electronic shops are there, where like computer desktops are being sold. So once you visit, now nowadays everybody's are having some quotations. A kind of small pamphlet will be there where they'll specify the laptop details, right? Price and some additional details. Let's suppose somebody has added some extended warranty, right? Apart from this, if they are giving some additional accessories along with the laptop. So these all things will be there specified in that pamphlet. That is, we can say quotations, right? So you have collected some 3-4 quotations from different shop. You'll be matching the quotations and you'll be choosing like best deal. And finally, what will happen? Then you are going to approach to that particular shop, will buy your laptop, you make the payment immediately. Okay, this is what is happening as an individual purchase. But in organizations, when you talk about B2B, business to business, if any kind of procurement or sales which is taking place, so cash basis transactions are not there, guys. Credit basis means they have purchased. So they have purchased the things today, but the payment will be made after 30 days, or payment will be made after 45 days, or after 60 days, right? So payment will be made after some time, isn't it? Now, so this is called, first of all, so after how many days payment will be made, that is called like terms of payment. This terms of payment, there is a topic also here in SAP guys, terms of payment. I'll explain in details. Okay. So terms of payment, first of all, will be discussed between Tata Motor and vendor. Okay. And both party agreed that, okay, the payment will be made in 30 days. So first of all, what will happen? First of all, let's suppose if Tata Motor has to purchase a particular product or raw material from vendor, then Tata Motor will raise a purchase order. Which activity, guys? Tata Motor will raise a purchase order first, PO, right? So PO means what? PO is purchase order, means like PO consists of certain details. Okay. Now, okay. So PO consists of certain details. PO will be having like material details, that which material we have to purchase, that we have specified on the purchase order, right? PO means we are going to specify when exactly we are looking for delivery, product delivery, right? Okay. Apart from this, where we want this delivery, for which plant, right? For which storage locations this order is being placed. So multiple details will be there on purchase order. So this purchase order will be sent to the vendor. And based on purchase order, what is happening, guys? Vendor will deliver the goods. Okay. So first of all, goods delivery will be taking place. So goods delivery, once we receive the goods receipt will be posted. Where? Here into SAP. Okay. So the first in P2P, look at here, P2P, one process. But how many activity? PO creation. Based on PO, vendor will deliver the goods. So that goods receipt will be posted in our system. And once we have received the goods and once everything is fine, then vendor will deliver the invoice. Okay. Vendor will deliver the invoice. So we have received the invoice. Now that also will be posted here into our system. And then once the invoice is posted, then after 30 days, the payment will be made to the vendor and the payment transaction also will be posted in our system. So look at here, one process, but how many activity? 4 different kind of activity. Okay. So now generally what happened? One process, but 4 activity. This now. So PO creation. Now what is happening? This PO must be created with in SAP itself. So we have to configure this process first, right? Before creation of PO, there are multiple configuration steps are there. We have to configure this. Who will configure these things, guys? Consultant, right? PO related configurations will be done by consultant. GR related configurations, let's suppose, done by consultant. IR related configurations done by you, and payment related configurations are done by you. Okay. GR, generally what is happening, guys? GR means, of course, accounting entry involved. So there might be a chances people may say like, okay, GR related, since your accounting entry is there, so it belongs to FI. So it's not like that. It's okay. GR is getting posted with reference to purchase order itself. Okay. So generally, and even invoice receipt is also posted with reference to purchase order itself. But that's fine. Simply I have specified like these 2 activity will be done by and let's suppose these 2 activity related configurations are done by FI. Okay. So there is involvement. This is all 4 steps or all 4 activity is the part of one single process, that is P2P, procure to pay. Right? But look at here what is happening. These 2 activity related configurations will be done by consultant, right? And remaining 2 activity related configurations will be done by FI consultant, right? And then what we have to do? If you talk about the testing, we have to perform testing together, because we are testing which process? P2P process. So P2P process process is starting from purchase order and ending till payment, right? So generally here what is happening, guys, now let's suppose we have done our part, right? We have done the configurations of our part, but consultant is still not ready and they have not performed the complete configurations for these two activities. So then what will happen? Will you be able to perform the testing for P2P? Not at all. Because here we are having dependency on someone, right? There is here in P2P process, there is association of two different module. There is integration of two different module. Two different modules are integrated with each other, right? If related configurations are not done, then we cannot create the purchase order. And if the purchase order itself is not created, then this remaining activity cannot be posted, because goods receipt we have to post with reference to PO itself. Invoice also will be posted with reference to PO itself. And PO related configurations are not completed. So how come it's possible? Similarly, consultant has done their configurations, right? But what about FI? FI related configurations are still in pipeline, in the sense it is not completed yet. So in that case also, P2P testing cannot be conducted successfully, right? So unit test means what is happening? Look at here, unit test means when we have done these configurations, we are not having dependency on any other module, right? You don't have dependency on SD consultant or consultant or any other consultant, right? Let's suppose those people have done only 10% configurations or 5% configurations. That's fine. But you can, because we are not having dependency on these activity configurations, so you can perform your configurations, you can perform the testing. So in unit testing, we are not having any dependencies on any consultant. Whereas in integration test, we are having dependency. This P2P is there, right? Likewise, we are having another process called O2C, order to cash. Okay, these all things, P2P, O2C, that will be explained in detail. In detail means multiple classes will be there, guys, not one or two classes. Multiple classes will be there, because lots of unique scenarios are there that I have to explain, and this is how you guys will become exclusive, right? These all are real-time scenario. Okay, this is what is being asked by people when you talk about, like, let's suppose this FIMM integrations, FISD integrations. Lots of tutorials, videos are available on YouTube free of cost, right? So no one will ask the configuration part, guys. They are going to ask the scenario. They'll give a scenario and they'll ask a question. You tell me as a SAP consultant, what is the solution, right? So if somebody is going to explain all the scenario, it is taking too much time, right? Okay, so that's the reason I says, like, it's like when you talk about my training, it takes time, because if I have to make you guys exclusive, of course I have to cover those scenario. Okay, now, so no need to worry. Multiple session will be there on this P2P also, multiple session will be there on O2C also in detail. But still here theoretically I'm explaining because I have to explain integration test. And again, this is going to integration test we have to do practically also. Okay, so I know, like, here you guys will not be having 100% clarity, but that's fine, dear. Generally what happened, this is just the theoretical explanations, right? Practically also these things are going to be explained. Okay, so and whatever I'm explaining here, lots of people generally what happened, they are charging separate amount, saying that this is the part of project training, right? So as I says, guys, for me, I'm not charging separately anything in my one, in the sense, in this whatever session I'm going to give, in this session itself, the entire things will be covered. Okay, I don't charge anything separately that this is for project or this is for something, right? In one single training itself, everything's supposed to be completed. That's what I think, and that's the reason I cover everything from A to Z. Okay, now, so we are talking about integration test. So integration test means there are certain process where multiple activity involved in a single process, right? And here we are having dependencies on other modules also. That is, as I said, like P2P, I have quoted the example of P2P. Here we are having integration with module. In the same way, O2C is there. So in O2C, we are having integration with SD module, right? So here we are having dependencies. If let's suppose consultant has not done their part, so we cannot test it further, even though you have completed your testing. So this is what the difference between unit test and integration test. Unit test means configuration is done by alone. It is done by you alone, right? And testing also you have done alone. We are not having any dependencies, but there are certain process in which we have dependency on other consultant. So if they have not performed their part, we have to wait until unless they complete their configurations, right? So this is what is happening here in integration test. Generally what is happening, guys, there is integrations between two module, right? If we talk about P2P, so P2P means we are having dependency on module. O2C, we are having dependency on SD module. Okay, so integration test means what is happening, guys, there is involvement of two modules. Whereas in unit test, there is no involvement of any other module. That's the reason unit test will be performed by you independently. Whereas in integration test, we have to coordinate with the other module consultant, and we have to check whether their configurations is completed or not. If it is done, then both consultant will sit together and they will one by one, consultant will create purchase order, right? So PO is created. With reference to PO, let's suppose goods receipt will be posted. With reference to same PO, invoice receipt will be posted. And then after, what is happening, guys, payment will be posted in SAP system. And if it is tested successfully, then we can say that yes, now we have completed the configuration of P2P process successfully, because we are able to create all these things. We are able to post all these transactions, right? Let's suppose we both consultants sit together for this P2P testing, and at the time of PO creation itself, certain error is coming. It means what will happen, guys? It means there is somewhere certain mistake is there in terms of configuration. Somewhere certain fault is there in terms of configuration. So that will be rectified by and then once again the PO creations will be taking place, right? So this is what is happening in integration test, guys. So generally what happened in third phase, we have to perform the configurations, and after that we have to perform the testing also. Testing again further, UT and IT, unit test and integration test. But I'll tell you, guys, whatever testings are there, this testing is done by consultant only, right? In the sense, it is done by you people only. What about the client? Client has not tested anything, right? So it is like simply we are saying that, okay, we have done the configuration of these things, we have done the configurations of that things, right? Even it is tested also. But what about the client? Client will not accept until unless they test it from their end, isn't it? So there is another testing called user acceptance test. Okay, so what is this UAT? And look at here in fourth phase also, multiple activities are there that we have to that I have to explain. So that is going to be explained in next session, guys. Fourth phase I'll complete, and once the fourth phase is completed, then we are having go live and activate methodology. This is nothing but a copy of ASAP methodology, I can say. So that is also most likely in next session this is going to be finished. So that's all in this session, guys, and that's all for today. Hi guys, welcome back. So we are in project page where I'm explaining ASAP versus Activate methodology. Okay, so if we follow ASAP methodology, right, then look at here. We are having 5 phases, out of which first, second and third phase till realization I have already explained. Now the fourth phase. So configuration is done, testing is completed, that is called UT and IT, unit test and integration test. So these are completed. Now what next, guys? The next one is, now we have to move out to the next phase called final preparation. So look at here, in final preparations, what is happening, guys? In final preparations generally, okay, so in final preparations, look at here, the purpose of this phase is to complete the final preparations including testing and user training, system management. So these are all things I have specified here. Let's have a look one by one. So the first one is user acceptance test, UAT. See, in the previous phase, we have done UT and IT. After configurations, unit test or integration test. So hope you guys are able to understand the unit test and integration test, which is already explained in the previous session. Unit test means for individual, process, we have to do the configurations and we have to perform the testing. Integration test means we are having dependencies on other module, and I quoted the example of P2P process where we are having integrations with MM. Okay, that will be explained in detail in the form of FI integration. Okay, that is a topic which I have to explain practically in upcoming session. Not now, it will take time. Before that, multiple other topics I have to explain, but that also I'll explain. Okay, now. So here, so generally the first activity in fourth phase is user acceptance test. So till now here in third phase, all the testing is done by you people only. Unit test done by you. Integration test done by you and plus your colleague. MM consultant is your colleague. So all the testings are done by consultant. Now, how client will be satisfied? Client will also perform testing from their end. So generally what happen in UAT, client will perform the testing. Okay, that is called user acceptance test. So generally what happen, client means, now let's suppose in finance department there are 200 members or 250 members. So do you think that everybody are going to test one by one? No, it is not possible. If everybody started testing, it will take too much time. So simply what happened, if you guys are able to remember, in blueprint, I said like core team member. Core team member means that is your counterpart from client side. If you need any informations, you need to ask from this, you need to discuss with the core team member and this guy will provide the informations. Okay. So now, so we can invite the core team member, okay, for this user acceptance test. So he or she will perform this user acceptance test, and if they're satisfied with the testing, so they have to accept it. That is, this one is fine. Right? So this acceptance, how acceptance can be given by those people? See, in real time, everything supposed to be documented. You must be having proof. Somebody has said that yes, it is accepted, and after that, if that guy has, like, let's suppose later on what happened? Later on it simply rejected that no, I didn't accept because some flaw was there and I need so and so field supposed to be added. So generally what happened during testing, once the testing is completed, right? So we have to take, like, a document will be prepared for this UAT document will be prepared, and we need to take the sign off. Or else mostly what is happening, guys, nowadays, so documents are not required. Simply on email we can get the confirmations. So that is also documents only. A kind of proof is there that yes, you have accepted on so and so date and you have already replied, right? So UAT means user acceptance test. So unit by unit, again, we are doing configuration and testing. In that way also, generally what happen? Okay, so generally I'll tell you, in third phase we have performed UT and IT, and in fourth phase we are inviting him for user acceptance test. So generally what SAP says, that it's okay, you just do all the configurations and you perform the testing, and once you have configured everything, if the system is ready, then you can invite this core team member to perform their testing. In real time, what is happening, guys? In real time, what people do, they will just configure one process they have tested. Immediately they'll invite the core team member also, and this guy will also perform the testing. If he found that yes, it is okay, then we can move further. So this is what is happening in real time. So look at here, but like generally as for SAP, it is coming in fourth phase, right? So that's what I'm saying, that in real time lots of things are happening. Okay, lots of things are happening now. So UAT will be conducted by core team member that's fine. They have accepted everything that yes, it is fine. And in that case, we can proceed further. We can move further. Again, another configurations will be taking place and we can test it. We can invite the core team member. Generally, what happened, core team member during implementation will spend most of the time with the consultant only because multiple informations we required every time. Okay. Now, so UAT is conducted. That's fine. Everything is accepted by client and client has given the green signal that yes, everything is fine. We are satisfied with that. Then what happened, guys? Then we have to go for another activity called cut over activity. I'm still able to remember, guys. This is what the first question was, asked by interviewer when I was giving the first interview, right? I'm talking about way back 15, 16 years back, isn't it? So the first question was asked by interviewer, what do you mean by cut over activity? And I was not able to respond because wherever I taken the training, the faculty simply, they were more focusing on the configurations without explaining the logic. And this is what is happening here in the everywhere nowadays. In 99% of the people are still doing the same thing. Okay. So cut over activity is what? Cut over activity is, now let's suppose here. So since the implementation is happening for Tata Motor is using a legacy system. Okay. Tally is legacy system, right? So Tata Motor is using an ERP. This existing ERP is called legacy system. Okay, in SAP language. So Tata Motor is using one ERP. In this ERP, multiple datas are there. Okay. So Tata Motor, of course, Tata Motor needs those data in SAP also. So generally what happened, guys, in that case, we have to migrate the data. Okay. We have to migrate data from where? From this legacy system to SAP system. Okay. So we have to migrate the data from legacy system to SAP system. And so this is called data migration, right? This data migration activity itself is called cut over activity, guys. So if anybody asks, what do you mean by cut over activity? Simply you have to say cut over activity is a data migration activity where the data will be migrated from where to where? From legacy system to SAP system. Don't say Tally, Oracle or something. Instead of Tally, there could be another ERP also, right? So in cut over activity, the data will be migrated from legacy system to SAP system. This is what you have to explain. Cut over activity is data migration activity. And here we migrate the data from legacy system to SAP system. Generally, this cut over activity happen exactly like, of course, in last phase only we can say, okay, cut over activity happen in last phase. Why? Because once we migrate the data from legacy system to SAP system, then for the time being, maybe for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, this legacy system it won't be used by end users, right? It won't be used by end user. Why? Because let's suppose in legacy system, there are certain transactions. Okay. So we have migrated from here to here. Meanwhile, if the end users, in the sense employee of Tata Motor, right? So employee of Tata Motor will be called user or end user. So if those people keep on posting the transactions in legacy system, then what happened? We have migrated data on a particular date from here to here, SAP, legacy system to SAP system. But now the moment if you match the overall balances here from legacy system to SAP system. So if the client, in the sense, if the users keep on using legacy system, guys, data match will not be there. The moment you have migrated the data from legacy system to SAP system, right? A particular data is migrated, whereas the end user has posted some new data. So here a different balance will be there, and here a different balance will be there. Okay, so that's the reason. At the last, in the sense, let's suppose if the go live is like, let's suppose SAP system is about to go live. In the sense, our entire activities are completed. Then at last moment we have to go for cutover activity. Okay, so generally this is what is happening. So we have to announce a date. that when this cutover activity will happen, in the sense when the data migration activity will happen. So a date we have to announce, let's suppose if it is 1st of April is the go live date already decided by client. So just 4 days or 5 days back, we have to announce this cutover activity that, okay, from 25th March or 26th March onwards, this cutover activity will be started. Data migration activity will be started, right? So the particular date which we have announced is called cutover date. Okay. So this particular date is called cutover date. So I don't think that you guys will be having any confusion here. If anybody asks what do you mean by cutover date? So cutover date is the date from where like cutover activity will be started. Simplest definition. See, I'll tell you guys, everything are simple only, but it is simple if it is explained by the faculty. If it is not explained, the same question, let's suppose if I don't explain cutover activity, and if it is asked by interviewer, right? No one will be able to answer. Even you can't guess also. What is this cutover activity, right? So cutover activity is data migration activity, and this data migration activity will be taking place, from on a particular date. So that date will be called cutover date. So from that date onwards, data migration activity will be started from legacy system to SAP system. Okay. So here I have explained this cutover activity. So in fourth phase or final phase, generally what happened? UAT and cutover activity, these two activity. Okay. End user training. End user training also simultaneously it will be going on, guys, because end user training means it takes some time. It is not possible to train the people in just 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. It takes some time because see, end user training means we have to train the people. We have done the configurations of, let's suppose, cash journal. We have done the configurations of 5M integrations, that is for PO related invoices. We have done the configurations for non-PO invoices, right? We have done the configurations for tax related, this one. In the sense, direct and indirect tax related configurations are done. Asset accounting related configurations are done. So we have to train those people that how these transactions will be like. We have done the configurations for automatic payment program. So we have to train them that how APP will work, right? So this is called end user training. When you give training, simply we have to user level in the sense like, see, two things are there. Configurations will be done by you people. So we won't explain anything related to configurations because that is not their part. After configurations, we are performing testing. Testing is performed by you people, right? As a consultant after configurations. So whatever activities are done in testing, testing means what? We have done the configurations. Let's suppose account payable basic setting. Then we have to post an invoice. We have to post a payment to check whether it is working fine or not. So this invoice posting and payment posting is day-to-day activity, guys. Once the SAP system goes live, then what happened? In day-to-day activity, this end users will perform this invoice posting related activity, payment posting related activity, cash related transaction posting, right? Asset related transaction posting, tax related transaction posting. So these are the day-to-day activity which is performed by end user, right? So we have to train those people for these things. Look at here how the invoice is posted, how the credit memo is posted, how the payment is posted. Okay. So these are these things we have to teach the end users because they are using a different system. Now they are switching on SAP. So in SAP, how these transactions are getting posted, that we have to train, that we have to provide the training. Now, again, the another thing is, so here training. Now let's suppose in Tata Motor we are having, as I said, like 200 members are there. Are we going to train all these 200 people? So no, generally no need to train for all 200 people. If needed, then Tata Motor can externally they can invite somebody or they can request the team that once the go live is done, then after you can conduct certain session for my entire team. That is a different request. But generally what happen, if you talk about here end user training, then we have to invite like core team member, and apart from this core team member, we can say that you just invite 5-6 experts along with you, right? So he is going to identify or she is going to identify who are those 5-6 people. So along with core team member, there will be some 5-6 senior people from finance team. We have to train those people. End user training we have to provide those people, and these people will train their colleague. Okay, they will teach their colleague that look at here how the transactions are getting posted. So in this way, generally, end user training will be conducted and completed. Okay. Now preparation of training manuals. So we have to prepare a document also, whichever trainings are given. So for that we have to prepare a document, because let's suppose if somebody had stuck somewhere at the time of testing, immediately they'll inform you, they'll call you. So instead of that, prepare a manual, prepare a training manual, hand over them, so that if somebody is not able to understand, okay, what next, then training manual is there. Screenshots and everything, we have to take the screenshot, we have to paste it, right? So training manual will be there. They can refer the training manual and they can proceed further. So that's the reason we have to prepare a training manual as well. What next, guys? The next one is configuration document. So we have to prepare a configuration document. See, now again, so most of the candidate ask like, so why to prepare this configuration document? As I said, like configurations will be done by us. So this is a secret thing that's supposed to be there with us only. We are not supposed to hand over the configuration document, right? So I'll tell you guys, no. Whenever the contract sign off happened, contract in the sense like, as I said, like let's suppose this implementation is done by IBM. Okay, it is being done by IBM in Tata Motor. So there will be a contract will be there. Okay, a contract will be signed by both party, Tata Motor and IBM. So in the contract itself, initially they will specify all these conditions, guys. Right. So in that itself, it will be there that whatever configurations you guys have done, you have to prepare a document and we have to hand over to the Tata Motor. And those are the property of Tata Motor only. Right. Generally, what happens when you become SAP consultant, let's suppose you are a part of implementation team, you have done implementations, SAP implementations, right, in a particular organization. That organization is called client, right, for a particular client. Then what happened? After completion of implementations, guys, whatever data are there in your laptop, whichever documents you have prepared, right, you cannot take it and you cannot go out by taking these documents, because that is their intellectual property. So generally what happened after implementations, their IT team will be there. These people are going to format the server, in the sense, format in the sense they'll clean the entire, what to say, data. But again, as I said, like if somebody want to take certain documents for the future reference and all, they can keep it, guys. We are having multiple way. Okay. So that is a different thing. But yes, generally what happened? So whichever documents are prepared, these documents we have to hand over to the client. Okay. So in that, even configuration document also will be there. Till date, whatever configurations we have done for these all configurations. So these all steps we have to specify in a document. We have to take out the screenshot. We have to prepare a document. That document is all configuration document. Okay. When I start the configurations, guys, for every configurations, I will give you guys a document also. That is called configuration document. Okay. So configuration document also will be given. Now, so that's the reason here, because of this contract, right? We have to hand over configuration document. There is another benefit, not for this IBM, but for Tata Motor. Let's suppose entire implementation is done by IBM. IBM has done the entire implementations. After that, let's suppose, as per the earlier contract for this implementations, right? For implementations, there will be a contract. So as per this implementation contract, let's suppose they have given 1 month, right, free of cost support, or 2 month free of cost support. After that, what happened? After that, now they will say that if you want further support from our side, then you have to pay this much amount. And Tata Motor management felt that whatever amount is demanded by IBM is like it's a bit more compared to market standard. So in that case, even they can invite quotations for this support project also from outside of the market, from Wipro, from Infosys, from TCS. And they found that this time, they found for this time, TCS has quoted a best price for them. So in that case, this support project is handed over to the TCS. So look at here, implementation is done by IBM, but now support will be given by TCS. So TCS IBM people are very much familiar because the team which has implemented, they are very much familiar with Tata Motor business process because they have spent a significant amount of time with Tata Motor. They have done all the configurations. They understood all the business process of Tata Motors. So these guys will be more comfortable if these people get the support project. So their consultant will be more comfortable. Why? Because they have done these implementations and they know each and every individual also, isn't it? So it is quite, these people will be quite comfortable, but again, money matters. So these people have charged more, TCS has charged less. So let's suppose Tata Motor decided to go with TCS for support. So TCS consultants are quite new. How they will come to know that which are the configurations done by IBM? Of course, some standard configurations are there, they will find it out. But still, if the configuration document is there, right? If the configuration document is there, then they can refer this document and they will come to know what exactly configured by IBM, right? So look at here, the configuration document is helping these people to understand lots of things. Okay, so now, so this is why even the client demand this configuration document. But generally, what happened, guys? One thing is there. If we talk about this implementation project, if it is given to a particular IT company, even the support project is also given to the same company. In most of the cases, almost 95% of the cases, the same thing will happen, or 90% of the cases, the same thing will happen. Okay, in only 5 to 10% of the cases, implementation is done by a different player and support will be given by a different player. Okay, now, so configuration document we have to prepare, and once it is once it is prepared, that we have to hand over to the client. So these are the activity which is happening here in final preparation. Okay, so once these all activities are performed, guys, then what next? Then no need to perform any other activity. Okay, now we are ready for go live. Okay, ready for go live. So look at here, in go live. So go live, what is happening, guys? Go live, nothing. There is no any activity. Go live means what? Go live means SAP system is ready to record live transaction. Go live is nothing but a party time. Now SAP, all the configurations are completed. Unit test, in the sense all the testing, unit test, integration test, user acceptance test, everything's are completed. Everybody is satisfied, right? All the documents are, we have handed over to the client. Apart from this, the end user trainings are also completed. Now, so now we are ready to go live. In the sense, now what will happen, guys? On a particular date, let's suppose, as I said, like 1st of April. So 1st of April, or whichever date is decided. So on that particular date, what happened? SAP system will, that is ready to record the live transaction. It means all the transactions will be posted here into SAP system, and whatever the legacy systems are there, that become past, that become history. It means now they are not going to use the legacy system. They will use SAP system itself. Okay, now I'll tell you. Of course, if they started using SAP system, they'll be having certain issues. They'll be having certain errors. Who will like what to say solve these errors, guys? If the client is facing certain issues, of course, you people, since you are the consultant, you guys are consultant, so you people can solve those problem. So that's the reason. Once the go live is done, then also they need support, our support, consultant support. Okay, in that case, that is their choice whether they want to continue with the IBM itself, or they want to go with a different service provider, that is TCS or Tech Mahindra or Wipro, Infosys, whatever it is. But they need support. Now, I told you guys two kind of supports are there. Okay, earlier, let's suppose in this Tata Motor implementation project, TCS also quoted certain amount, and IBM was quoted certain amount. Okay, so TCS saying that we will charge, say for example, we will charge, now let's suppose some 20 CR. And in that, we are giving 1 year free of cost support. Whereas IBM is saying that I will charge only 12 CR and I'll give only 2 months free of cost support. Okay, so somewhere they have decreased the amount. At the same time, look at here, the support durations, that is also decreased by IBM people. So the project went to IBM client, thought, okay, let's do this implementations in 12 crore only. And later on, what is happening, like they will give the free of cost support for 2 months. After that, we will decide whether we have to go with IBM or TCS or what, right? So again, and now in support, let's suppose IBM has demanded more. So in that case, they have to provide 2 months support, and after that, their work is done. Now TCS will take over this project. Okay, so this 2 month a support for a smaller duration is called hypercare. Okay, hypercare support for smaller durations. Smaller duration means for a quarter max to max. It is called hypercare. And any support which is more than 3 months, that is called the support, in the sense like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. This is called support. But the same support for a small duration is called hypercare. Okay, sometimes what happens, people ask the differences between support and hypercare. So hypercare means support for small durations is like if we have to provide the support to the client. So if it is equal or less than 3 months, that is called hypercare. And if the same is like more than 3 months, for 6 months, 1 year, that is called support. So this is what the difference. Okay, so hypercare is nothing but support itself. The different name is given by SAP. That's fine. You need to know, and that's the reason I said. So hypercare means support itself for a smaller durations that is equal or less than 1 quarter. 1 quarter means 3 months. Okay, so this is what is happening, guys, here. And as I written here, so generally in support post implementations, after implementations, all this SAP related maintenance or error activity comes under support project. And here consultant just received the ticket. Okay, ticket is nothing but errors. You have to solve it, and then you have to send it back to the client. Okay, so you have to solve these all tickets or errors, whatever is there, that you have to send it back to the client. In the sense, you have to inform the client that this error is solved. They will perform the testing, and then they can proceed further. So this is what is happening in support. Now, so these 5 phases are there in which one? In ASAP methodology. Okay, and as I told you guys, see, SAP is having 2 versions, that is ECC, and we are having another version called S4 HANA. S4 HANA. Okay, we have 2 versions, ECC and S4 HANA. Now ECC is the old version now. Okay, and S4 HANA is the new version. Okay, entire explanations will be there on new version itself, because this is what is demanded nowadays in the market. Who cares about the old version now, which is already outdated? But so when the implementation was happening on ECC version, in that case we have to follow ASAP methodology. And same implementations now it is happening on S4 HANA, so we have to follow Activate methodology. Okay, see, now I'll give explanations about Activate methodology, and let's have a look how it is similar to SAP. How it is similar to ASAP. ASAP we have 5 phases. In Activate, 5 to 6 phases. Some people will say 6 phases, some people will say 5 phases. Okay, so just make it like that, 5 to 6 phases. So how it is 5 to 6 phases, I will tell you guys. Here generally in Activate also we can say 5 phases only. Okay, the 6th phase is there. I'll tell you how it is 5 phases only. So right now, so Activate means implementation happen on S4 HANA, we have to follow Activate. And if implementation was happening on ECC version, we used to follow ASAP methodology. Now, again, there is no any kind of restrictions that you must have to follow this Activate methodology itself. In real time, I'll tell you guys, depends upon project manager, how they want to proceed, they can proceed, right? There is no any kind of restrictions that you have to follow this one or you have to follow this one or what.
in whichever way they felt comfortable, they can go. And that's what I said, like in real time, generally what happened, you won't be able to realize when the first phase came, when the second phase came, when the third phase came, because sometime what happened generally, so in blueprint, discussions are happening with a client. At the same time, some consultant will start doing configurations also, because there are certain basic settings, right? So those settings, we must have to perform those settings, and it doesn't have any impact on the discussions, because we must have to start, like you must have to configure those steps, then only we can proceed further. So those mandatory configurations, we will start in the second phase also, right? So that's the reason I said, like in real time, generally what is happening, everything's are going to be mixed, but yes, this things are given by SAP, and you need to know. If anybody asks during interview, so you cannot say that no, we didn't follow this methodology, right? You need to know and you have to explain. So now we'll talk about, so ASAP is completed. Now we'll talk about Activate methodology. Look at here, in Activate methodology, we're having, so here 6 phases are specified, that is discover, prepare, explore, realize, deploy, and run. I will tell you guys, if you leave, if you leave up this discover, okay, you just minus the first phase, then prepare, explore, realize, deploy, and run. This is almost the same activity which we have done in ASAP. Okay, it is almost the same activity which we have done in ASAP. The name, of course, the name are changed here, right? So I'll explain here one by one what is happening in these phases. So discover phase, generally I minus this phase. Okay, I say Activate methodology is having 5 phases: preparations, explore, realize, deploy, and run. Because from this phase onwards, our involvement is there, consultant involvement is there. Before that, discover phase says what? Discover phase is saying, look at here, that this phase, okay, this is the phase where the client or customer realize that there is a need for a solution to satisfy their business pain points. So in discover phase, generally what is happening, there will be involvement of clients only. Our involvements are not there at all. That's the reason I say in Activate methodology we are having 5 phases only. But again, if anybody asks during interview, you can say 6 phases also. Discover, prepare, all the phases you can explain. Okay, so I will also keep here 6 phases. Okay, 6 phases. But generally what happened, our involvement, consultant involvements will be there from this second phase onwards. Okay, in first phase only client involvements are there. So let me explain. Discover phase means what is happening here. So in Activate we are having total 6 phases. These are the 6 phases which I have specified. I'll explain one by one what is happening in every phase now. So here, okay, and I'll record a small session, guys, so that there won't be any you guys won't feel boring or something. If it is a very longer session, then of course, like some people will like feel that it is boring, quite boring. So small sessions means that is fine. Now, so look at here in discover. So discover phase, this is the phase where the client realize or customer realize. Who is the client or customer, guys? Tata Motor. Okay, now we have to implement SAP here in Tata Motor. And which version, guys? The latest version, that is S4 HANA. Okay, so S4 HANA we have to implement, SAP S4 HANA we have to implement in Tata Motor. Now, so first of all, Tata Motor has to realize about their need, right? So look at here, in this phase, the client or customer, I mean to say Tata Motor, realize that there is a need for a solution to satisfy their business pain points. What is this pain points? Pain points means management required various different kind of reports, and which is not possible to extract those kind of report from legacy system, whichever legacy system they are using, whether it is Tally, Oracle, or whatever it is. So they found that there are certain kind of report which is pretty important, but we are not able to generate from the legacy system. So of course, it's a kind of pain points for them, isn't it? And not only those things, let's suppose at the time of transaction posting also, the users has given some suggestions to the management that in this way, if we proceed further, that is going to be more beneficial. But whichever legacy system is there, So there, like IT team is there. Legacy system is, of course, for that particular legacy system also consultants will be there, right? So those people says that these kind of customizations are not possible, right? So now it's time. Okay, so it's time to find out the solution to satisfy their business pain points. So they will think about a different ERP, right? So look at here. Hence, start looking out for the right solution. The right solutions means, let's suppose they decided that yes, SAP is the best. Okay. So what happened here? Okay. So now look at here. So here in this phase, customer may apply for a free trial solution. Nowadays, SAP, of course, they can they can offer this uh, trial also. Okay, I have just given sap.com is there. That is the website where the customer can visit and they can. Okay, so here a link I have given. That's fine. So, okay, so they can go for free trial solution if required. Okay, why I said like if required? Sometime what happened, the client is already determined that I have to go for SAP itself because they have seen the functionality somewhere. So they know that no need to go for the trial and all. We have to go for SAP directly. This is what is decided. And that is like 100% decided, so they have to go. So if required, they can go for free trial, or else if not needed, then simply they can go for implementation itself. They will check the implementation partner. It could be TCS, IBM, Wipro, Infosys. As I said, they can go for direct implementations. Now if the client is totally new for this SAP, then they can go for trial also. Now look at here. Trial means to check out the features and functionality. Okay, so for that they have to go for trial. Now look at here, SAP offer a guided trial of S4 HANA which includes pre-configured sample data. Okay, now so a guided trial for of S4 HANA which includes pre-configured, because client is not the expert, guys. Okay, client is not the expert. So generally what happened, SAP is offering this SAP S4 HANA cloud version actually. So trial, in that certain pre-configured data are already there. So if the client has to test, okay, let me check how the vendor invoice is posted here into SAP, how the non-PO invoices are getting posted, how the PO invoices, how to set up the purchase order, right? How to set up the purchase order. So now, so again, there'll be a question that these people are not expert of SAP. So if they have to test these all things, so SAP is, first of all, SAP has given pre-configured sample data, and country wise it is given. Okay, no matter whichever country client belongs to. So now pre-configured sample data is given by SAP, but still if they have to create the purchase order, they don't know how to create the purchase order, right? So they don't know. So we are having like SAP also offer the best practice documents, practice document. They can refer the SAP documents, guys, and with the help of that, they can create the purchase order. They can post the vendor invoice. They can post the customer invoice. In the sense, they can check the functionality. Before going for SAP, they will check the functionality. If they are satisfied that yes, this ERP, this software is far better than the ERP which is being used by client, then of course they can go for SAP, right? So that's the reason I said like pre-configured sample data are already there. Guided tour for finance sales. Okay, these are the module. Okay, these are the module. So they can check the activities related to finance modules, sales and distribution module, procurement related activity. They can check these things. If the free trial, okay, doesn't fit exact needs, the client can request a personalized demo. See, I'll tell you guys, if the free trial is not like, if they're not able to understand, it is creating some confusion. So then even they can ask for a personalized demo. Okay, so who will be giving demo, guys? So this often happens through SAP, in the sense SAP is an organization. Okay, SAP is an organization. Now, so this demo will be given either by SAP or SAP implementation partner. I will tell you guys, several thousand customers nowadays are using SAP. Okay, this SAP system, SAP software is being used by several thousand customers. What do you think? SAP alone can handle these entire projects. If there are 5,000 clients are there or 10,000 clients are there, entire world, these many customers are using SAP. So alone SAP cannot handle these entire projects. So that's the reason SAP is having lots of implementation partner, or we can say partner only. Okay. So SAP is having lots of partner. Okay. Now, so these partners means it is TCS, IBM, Infosys, Wipro, like that multiple implementation partners are there. Okay. So these all people, even TCS is also having huge number of SAP consultant, IBM, Infosys, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, right? Like that, these are the big player. There will be 100, more than 100 big players are there. Apart from this, there are certain medium size and small organizations are also there. Even they are also the partner of SAP, right? So SAP is having multiple partner. So that, see, there'll be a question. If the implementation is done by SAP directly in Tata Motor, they will generate the revenue. But if the implementation is done by, let's suppose, IBM in Tata Motor, the revenue goes to IBM. So now here, that's fine. SAP does not have any problem. IBM has done the implementation. Of course, the revenue goes to IBM because they deserve. But what is the benefit of SAP? Of course, there is a benefit, guys. Look at here, the SAP server, right? Tata Motor need SAP server. So for that, they have to make the payment to SAP. So still SAP is generating revenue for their software, right? Whatever subscriptions, like how many user IDs are there, so those many IDs will be created and they have to make payment annually to the SAP for this SAP server which is being used by those people. Okay. Now, so of course SAP is also having benefit, and that's the reason lots of implementation partners are there. Okay, which is the partner of SAP, and they will do the implementations in different projects. Okay, so generally what happened, the demo will be given by either SAP or an SAP implementation partner. So they know very well that yes, Wipro, Infosys, IBM, Tech Mahindra, and these companies are also doing the implementation. So they can invite anybody for this demo. Okay, now the next one is, this discover phase will help the client to consider and experience SAP S4HANA before starting a project to implement. So of course, before starting the implementations, first of all, then they want to check it, guys, because implementation involve a huge cost. Once they have gone for this implementations, and after that if they feel that they are not satisfied, which is almost next to impossible because SAP provide a very wide variety of solutions, and that's the reason, guys, now most of the clients are, almost everybody are satisfied. You can find there, you can find certain messages, certain, what you say, news that okay, there is a client, there is a company which has switched from a particular ERP to SAP, right? But there is very less or least examples are there where somebody has switched from SAP to non-SAP. Okay, there might be a chances that okay, the client, in the sense whichever companies are there, their business is having certain downfall and they are unable to, uh, in the sense whatever the maintenance charges are there, they are unable to make the payment. So they can go for a smaller platform. That is a different thing, guys. But these are the very, almost like, and I can say like least examples are there, right? SAP means everybody are quite satisfied. Now, so here, of course, in discover phase, the client will consider, so client to consider and experience S4HANA before starting the project, right, to implement. By the end of this phase, customer finalize to go ahead with the SAP solution, and they will move to the next phase where the actual implementation life cycle started. So generally what happened in this phase, our involvement is not there. Whatever is done, that is done by clients only. Okay, our involvement, there might be a chances that our involvement will be there for a smaller, what to say, this one time period, where if they demand for demo, in that case, and demo from a particular client like IBM, Accenture, wherever, so somebody will go to provide the demo to the client, and that is a different thing. But altogether, all over here, like our involvements, consultant involvements are not there here in discover phase. Client is taking the decisions, client is, making all the experiment. Okay, and and they're checking that yes, SAP is this ERP will be suitable for us or not. So at last, okay, they realize that yes, SAP solution is the best solution for them. So now they have to move to the next phase where the actual implementations. Next phase means actual implementations means now it is going to be started from next phase onwards where our involvement is there, right? So now in next phase, what is happening? What activities will be performed by a consultant? So that I'll explain in next session, guys.
Hi guys, welcome back. So here in this session, so I'll explain once again ASAP versus Activate. So already certain session I have given here, and we have seen already ASAP methodology, and in Activate also one phase I have explained, that is discover phase. Okay, so discover phase I have explained. In Activate we are having total 6 phases, but the first phase, which is discover, right? So here our involvement is not there. That's the reason some people says like the actual phase is starting from prepare, where like our involvement is there, where the involvement is there. That's the reason you will find some people will say that total 5 phases are there. Even few consultant will say total 6 phases are there. So this is not the matter of discussions whether it is 6 phases or 5 phases. Actually, we need to know that what to say, what exact, what kind of activities are involved, like we have to perform here in this phase, in every phase, one by one, what is happening actually in discover phase, prepare phase, explore phase, right? During an interview, if anybody asks, okay, explain activate methodology, so they are not interested to know your conclusion whether it is 6 phase or 5 phase. You can say 6 phase, that is also fine. You can say 5 phase, that is also fine. Okay, or is better to say 6 page itself, start from discover. Okay, so here discover page is completed, and prepare page. Prepare page means what is happening in prepare page. Look at here. This is quite similar to project preparations, except one additional activity is there. Okay. So look at here. The first of all, the project is initiated. Of course, the project is initiated, guys, and see generally what happened. Let's suppose. Okay, so let's suppose what happened here. Uh, okay, so Tata Motor. Tata Motor requires this SAP. So Tata Motor here in Discover page, they have decided that yes, whatever the legacy system, in the sense current system is there, that is not meeting their requirements. So we have to go for some additional solution, and they decided to go with SAP. So when they decided to go with SAP, who will implement this SAP into Tata Motor? So for that, they invite quotations from different SAP partners. Of course, IBM, Accenture, and what do you say, Deloitte, right? Wipro, TCS, Capgemini, multiple SAP partners are there. These are the big players. Even there are multiple small and mid-sized players are there in the market. Companies I'm talking about. Okay. So they'll invite quotation from 5, 6 organizations, and out of which, let's suppose they have matched all the and compared all the quotations and finalized that IBM has quoted the best price for them. So the project is given, implementation project is assigned to IBM. So what will happen? IBM will appoint a project manager who is going to lead this entire project. Okay. Now, once the project manager is appointed, then what will happen, guys? It means the project is initiated. Okay, the project is initiated. Now, what is happening? The first thing is, so define the first activity, define project plan and objective. Project plan and objective means what is the objective of this project? So main objective is to implement SAP here in SAP S4HANA into Tata Moto smoothly, and to achieve the whatever deadline is given by client within the specified time limit it's supposed to be implemented, isn't it? Now, so for that, what is the plan? So plan means, look at here, project schedule and timeline. So project schedule and timeline. Now here, so multiple phases are there. Of course, it is going to be this is also divided into certain phases now. So for every phase, the first phase supposed to be completed in how many months, second phase supposed to be completed in how many months. So first of all, the deadline supposed to be certain, deadline supposed to be specified for every phase, that this phase must be completed in 1 month or 2 months or 1.5 months, right? So this is how generally what happens. If a deadline is there, then only the implementation team also work accordingly. If they found that, let's suppose the second phase is having deadline of 2 months, right, and already 1.5 months is completed, still they have done only 60% of the activity. In that case, what they will do? They will spend some additional hour to meet the deadline, isn't it? So this is how they will be able to implement this entire SAP into Tata Motor within the specified deadline which is given by client. Okay. So project schedule, timeline, resource allocations, and team structure. Okay. So resource allocations, team structure, of course, like look at here, I've specified project team setup, right? So resource allocation and team structure. Team structure means, again, resource allocations, of course, how many people are needed, and for, let's suppose, how many resources are needed to implement this entire SAP project. Team structure means, like, let's suppose project manager is there, and in the sense a kind of hierarchy. After project manager, who is the next? If project manager is not available, then who is going to, that is already I have specified here, this assign project team roles and responsibility. So again, first of all, how should be the team structure? Project manager will be there. Next to project manager, there will be somebody apart from this. Senior consultant will be there. Junior consultant will be there. What is the reporting hierarchy? Junior will report to senior consultant. Senior consultant will report to project manager, right? Okay. So like that, and multiple other things will be there. How frequently, what you say, the team meeting will be conducted every day or every alternative day, right, or every Friday. So these all things will be planned. And here project team setup. So project team setup, of course, a team is required to implement this SAP. So how many members are needed? Let's suppose 30, 40, 50. And what about those 30 people or 40 people? So of course, like, internally it is going to be, they can find out. I have already explained a free pool concept, guys. If, let's suppose, there are certain what to say, project which is went to a different organization, so whatever the resources are there, whichever resources allocated to that particular project, now these all resources become free. All the consultant become free, and their profile become the part of free pool. So from free pool, project manager will find the consultants, and if, let's suppose, still, like, let's suppose one or two consultants are still remain, then they can hire it from outside. Okay. Now, then what next? Assign project team roles and responsibilities. So whatever the roles responsibilities are already planned here, now it is time to assign, because the team, let's suppose the team is ready. So who is going to do what, right? So of course, if you talk about like consultants, so whatever the relevant consultant, if somebody is a finance consultant, it doesn't mean that a finance consultant will do the activity of SD. It's not like that. Whoever the, based on their expertise, the work will be allocated, right? Okay. Yeah, among junior consultant, let's suppose, mostly those people involved in small activities, document preparations. So if somebody has given some additional activity to the junior consultant, in the sense like finance consultant is there, right? And let's suppose finance consultant is there, senior consultant from finance, senior consultant from controlling, and they have allocated like all the documentations related activity to a junior consultant. So that's fine. Okay. So now the last one is conduct a kickoff meeting with all the stakeholders. So of course, kickoff meeting means, like, again, this is also explained in the ASAP methodology. Similarly, here also, the team meeting will be there. In that, stakeholders. Which are the stakeholders? Stakeholder means, look at here. Okay, so with the key stakeholder to, okay, formally initiate. So formally initiate the SAP project and bring together the internal and external project team. So generally here what happened, like, let's suppose 40 members are there
implementation team, all are coming from different locations. They don't know each other. They don't know like who is the SD consultant here, who is the MM consultant. Let's suppose I'm a finance consultant. I don't know who is the MM consultant. I don't know who is the SD consultant. But I need those people. There is a reason because finance is having integrations with several modules. So and like that, even MM is also having integrations. SD is also having integrations. So we need to know who is the SD, who is the MM consultant, who is the PS consultant. So a kickoff meeting will be conducted with all the key stakeholders. Apart from this, so internal team means consultant. External project team means what happened, guys? From Tata Motor side also, there'll be few people will attend this meeting. Like a project manager will be there from Tata Motor side also, who is going to take care of this project and progress of the project. Okay. Second thing is like from every department, like a representative will be there from every department. That is called core team member. A person who is going to represent finance team is called core team member, CTM. What is the use of core team member? That is already explained here in business blueprint phase, guys. A core team member generally what happen? They represent a particular team, and whenever if we need any sort of discussions, that will happen with the core team member itself. If we need any informations, that we demand from core team member itself. Because in finance, let's suppose a member of 200 people are there. We don't know that who is the relevant person to talk if I need a particular information. So I to ask like who is the relevant person? A, a particular representative in the sense CTM is already allocated that this is the guy from where you can demand any informations whatever you need. Simply we have given the requirement that I need this informations. This core team member, he or she knows that how to get this information, from where to get this information, who is the right person to provide this input within the finance team. So this core team member will approach the relevant person, will gather the informations, and they will pass on this information to us, and based on that we can do our configurations, right? So this is what is happening now. Then the another thing is, one additional activity is there, arrange the demo server to carry out workshop. Okay, so generally what happened, guys, in ASAP methodology during blueprint. So simply what happened, we are going to discuss the entire, what to say, this one. So when we discuss, okay, with a core team member, what? Discuss about their business process. Okay, these all activity. And we says that yes, if you are saying like let's suppose P2P, P2P. So yes, it is possible. Here we are going to deliver this. Okay, but the thing is, they don't know how to create a PO in what you say SAP system, and how does it looks like, which are the fields appearing over there, right? So for that, generally what happened, so this is just a verbal discussions which is happening, and most likely if we are having any document, if we are having any PPT, we can present, we can show them that this is how it is appearing, this is how the fields are. But still, like the kind of feeling which is needed is like missing in blueprint phase, in ASAP methodology, because simply we are showing them a documents or PPT or something, isn't it? But in Activate methodology, it's not like that. We are showing them practically in the system. Okay, SAP best practices are there. Best practices means a pre-configured things will be there, right? So we will show them practically here. So if you have to show something practically, before that, the SAP server must be ready. Okay, and that is not the final server actually. So that's the reason it is written a demo server. Okay, a demo server is supposed to be ready so that we can in explore phase, when we conduct a workshop with the like this one business user means from Tata Motor side, right? So in order to carry out this workshop, first of all, demo server must be available. So if it is like if they're using SAP Cloud, then request a demo server from SAP itself. And if it is on premise, then a basis consultant will be there. So they will set up this demo system, and in that we can arrange the workshop. Okay. So these are the activity which is happening here in prepare phase. Prepare is look at here, quite similar to project preparation. Almost same activities are there, except the last one. Okay. So once it is done, then we have moved to the next phase called explore. Okay. This is called explore phase. Okay, so explore phase, I have added like more explanations. So I'll just do one thing. Let me read this. Yeah, here. Here I have given like best explanations. Okay, so look at here. In explore phase, what is happening? Okay, so in explore phase, we follow fit to standard workshop. Now, generally, this fit to standard workshop will be followed. What is happening? Look at here. It replaces the traditional blueprint, okay, from older methodology, in the sense from ASAP methodology, right? There we are following this blueprint phase. Instead of blueprint, now we are going to explore the functionality, and that to practically itself. Okay, so that is the reason it is written. It replaced the traditional blueprint from older methodology and focus on evaluating SAP pre-delivered best practices to see how well how well they fit the organization's business need. So here we can show them, because SAP has already given pre-delivered best practices. Means now see, pre-configured things are there into SAP. We can make use of that and we can show them directly that this is how, look at here, you can post cash related transactions. This is how you can create a PO. This is how you can post a goods receipt here in SAP system. This is how we can set up a GL account into SAP system, right? And here the client will more comfortable, because ultimately they are checking the end result. Okay, before starting before starting the configurations are not started, still we are showing the end result, that once we do the configurations it looks like this, isn't it? Okay, so this is what is happening in explore phase. Fit to standard workshop. What is this fit to standard workshop? So generally, what are the activities happening in fit to standard workshop? So look at here, review SAP best practices. That is the first. Look at here, the project team and business users. Business user means core team member along with him. If he or she invite any another expert from their team, that's fine. So the project team and business user review SAP S/4HANA best practice processes using a pre-configured system, right? Sandbox or demo client. Sandbox means that is demo itself, right? So they will review the all activities, right? Where in pre-configured system, that is, I have already explained here, arrange a demo server. So in demo server, these people are going to review. Now, these are real system demonstrations. We are showing in the system itself that this is how it is going to be created and this is how it looks like. Okay, not just slides. Not just slides means in blueprint phase, what is happening, guys? If the client needs to see that how the PO looks like, we can show the slides, we can show the PPT, we can show the documents. Here what is happening? Practically we are showing. So real system demonstration is happening, not just the slides. Okay, showing how standard process work out. So again, real system demonstrations, we are showing the how the standard process work out, how the transactions are getting posted, how the POs are getting created, how the master data are being maintained. So these things we can demonstrate, right? Okay, so these are the activity. Process validations. Process validations, look at here, fit and gap. As I said, like fit to standard workshop. So first of all, fit means what? User access whether, okay, so user access whether the standard process meet their business requirements. First of all, of course, user has to decide that we have shown something. Now, whether it is going to meet the requirement or not, right? If the process fits that yes, it is okay, then it is accepted. It is accepted by them, and it means no customization is needed. No customization means simply we have to do the standard configurations, and with that, the requirement will meet. And of course, with the standard itself, the requirements are going to be meet, guys, right? Customizations in a very less activity it is needed. Okay. So if the client is accepted that yes, this PO, yes, it is fine, we are okay with that. This goods receipt posting, we are okay with that. Invoice receipt posting, we are okay with that, right? any particular report, we are okay with that. So it means these all things fits as per the requirement. Okay. And that can be specified in explore phase. Of course, here also we can document these things that yes, this one is fitting and it is like there, it fits into their requirement. So yes, this is the deliverable we have to deliver through standard configurations. Gap identifications. Okay. Gap identifications means here what is happening, gap to standard. In the sense, standard process we have shown to the client. And look at here, if a business requirement is not met by the standard process, the gap is documented. It means now we have to document it as a gap. It means non-deliverable, non-deliverable through standard configurations. In that also, first of all, we have to explore. We have to explore the possibilities. Which possibilities, guys? For each gap, let's suppose I have shown a particular process and they are not satisfied. So first of all, we have to explore. For each gap, the team explores, can the process be adjusted via via any additional configurations? In the sense, whatever, if they are raising any requirement that I want certain additions in this screen, right? So is it possible through any standard configurations? That we have to explore, right? If it is not, then is a custom development needed? Of course, like if through standard configuration it is not possible, then of course we have to go for development, customizations. And in that, there will be involvement of technical consultant, a BAP consultant. Those people will perform the development, right? So can a workaround or process change be used? Workaround, I'll tell you guys, workaround means generally what happens if there is a requirement and there is no standard configurations. But we can apply our mind, and with the help of that, let's suppose if it is possible. Workaround means once I start the configurations, you guys will be, knowing what is called workaround, because there are certain configurations where I have to explain this. Okay. So no need to worry. Okay. So now workaround means we found the solutions without doing customizations, without doing any development. Okay. We applied our mind and simply we found the solutions. Okay. So now, can a workaround or process change be used? So these all things. Okay. So in the sense, like whatever standard things are there, if it is not meeting the requirement, then of course that comes under gap. Why? Because we check like additional configurations that is not available, so we have to go for customizations. We have to go for development. And here what happened? Here we prepare a solution design document. Okay. So where fit and gaps will be specified. Right? Whatever fits in the sense deliverable and gap, that is non-deliverable. Non-deliverable in the sense like through standard. If we have to go for customizations, then of course that is going to cost them extra, and that will be discussed by the project manager at upper level. Okay. If Because I'll tell you guys, client, if we talk about the users means they will be like, sometime what happened with the standard itself, their requirement can be met, but still they want lots of additional things. Lots of additional things means of course the customizations will be taking place, and when the additional cost comes into picture, then higher level people will always try to reduce the cost. So here it is not accepted by user, but when the talk reaches at project manager level, of course, like most of the standard solutions will be accepted by the project manager of Tata Motor, because they know that if we have to go for customizations, right, which is not like required here in this case, with the standard itself they can manage, so of course it will be accepted. Okay. So these are the activity which is happening here in explore phase. So explore phase, the major important thing is generally what happened, we are showing the real system demonstrations in explore phase, whereas in blueprint phase we were just showing the screens in the sense like PPT or documents, right, to the client. But here real system demonstration is there. So this is what the difference between blueprint phase of ASAP methodology and explore phase of activate methodology. Here the PPT presentations, but here in explore phase real system demonstrations. Keep in your mind, if anybody asks the differences between blueprint phase and explore phase, this is what you have to say during interview. Okay. Now, and only I'll tell you guys, these all, if at this level somebody are asking the questions, hardly 4 to 5% of the people will be able to respond. And those 5% people only deserve to be a SAP consultant. And of course, those 5%, because success ratio, if you talk about SAP, right, it's less. And the reason behind is very less explanations are there from the people, from institutions. They have to wrap up entire batch as soon as possible. So they are going to cut down all these things. And that's the reason very less understanding will be there to the candidate. And when they attend the interview, they are unable to understand the question itself. Okay. So explore phase, these activities are happening. Once it is done, then what next, guys? Already we have specified whatever fits and gaps are there. So as per that, now what we have to do? We have to do the configurations, which is there in a realize phase, right? Again, this is similar to realization phase of ASAP methodology. There, what we have done? We have done the configurations. We have done the testing. Here, what we have to do? Here also we have to do the configurations. Here also we have to do the testing. Okay. Now, so configurations, for every activity we have to perform certain configurations. And once you do the configurations, how you guys will, let's suppose there is an activity. There is an activity called, there is cash journal. Okay. This is a process. This is okay. So with the help of cash journal, what happened? All the cash related transactions will be posted here into SAP. Okay. Now, automatic payment program. With the help of automatic payment program, the vendor payment will be posted automatically into system. So when we do the configurations for this activity, how you guys will come to know? How you guys will come to know that whether it is perfect or not, right? Or validations, substitutions, multiple activities are there. So how you guys will come to know whether it is perfect or not? So we have to, after configurations, we have to perform testing, right? Testing is also having like two kind of testings are there, unit test and integration test, which is already explained in ASAP methodology. That's the reason I'm not going to repeat it again. Okay. So these testings we have to, we have to test every configurations, and then we will come to know that yes, now we have successfully, we have configured this automatic payment program. Successfully, we have configured dunning. Successfully, we have configured validations or substitutions or whatever the things are there. Multiple activities are there that we have to configure into SAP one by. So in realization phase, here in realize phase, configuration and testing will be taking place. What next? Once the configuration and testings are done, and mostly what happened, guys, in realization phase or in realize phase, because in this activate methodology, it is called realize phase. So in realize phase itself, mostly what happened, once we perform testing and we found that yes, this process is, this activity is tested well, we can invite our core team member and we can request them also to test it. And if they test and if they have given the green signal, it means that's fine. It is tested and it's okay. Okay. So these things are happening. Now, once the testing is done, it means we have done with the configurations. We have tested this and everything is fine. Then what next? Next one is, it means we have the major activities are already performed. Now it means we are ready for go live. So now we move to the fourth page. Okay, fourth page means what, guys? Now this is called go live preparation phase. Okay, your go live preparations related activities are happening. The first is system cutover. System cutover means what? Look at here. Finalize cutover plan. First of all, what is this cutover activity? Lots of people, when somebody asks, what do you mean by cutover activity? Have you performed any cutover activity? Lots of people are not able to understand what is this cutover activity. Even though they have, their training is completed, everything is completed, but they don't know what do you mean. If somebody asks, what do you mean by cutover activity? Here also, most of the people will not able to answer. And the reason behind is cutover activity means, see, there are certain topic when somebody asks the questions, then they can guess and they can reply. But here in cutover activity, what kind of guess? There is no guess. Why? Because the meaning of cutover activity is data migrations, right? So with the name of this cutover activity, they cannot guess that yes, it is a data migration activity, right? Unless it is explained by the faculty. Okay. So whatever this cutover activity, what is cutover activity? Of course, it is data migration activity. So first of all, we have to finalize the cutover plan, detailed step. Okay, detailed step to move from legacy to SAP system. So plan, of course, must be ready when exactly, like it is going to, when the cutover activity will be started. And for that, what do we need to do? Isn't it? How we are going to get the data from legacy system, how it is uploaded here into SAP system. So these, first of all, of course, we have to set up a plan and then we have to proceed accordingly. So once the plan is ready, right? Because we have moved to the fourth phase where the, in the sense like the foods are ready, now it is supposed to be served. So before that, whatever the additional things are there, that must be, that must be on place so that we can invite the people and we can serve the food, right? So those preparations are happening here in deploy phase. Okay. So finalize the cutover plan. Plan is already, it is ready. Now perform mock cutover to test the timeline and process. So perform mock cutover means generally what happened. Let's suppose if we talk about SAP, here we have three server: development, quality server, and production server. Okay. See, in a single server, configuration and testings are not cannot be complete. You cannot do, right? Configuration and testing means, let's suppose we have one server, server A. In that itself, we have done the configurations and we have done the testing. So lots of additional data are already there here in this server, isn't it? So if the client started hosting the real-time transactions in this server itself, so lots of testing related data are already there. So they won't be getting the correct balance actually and correct report. So generally what happened, first of all, so three different servers will be set up by basis consultant, development, quality, and productions. Okay. I'm explaining here if it is on premise. Okay. So now three different server will be set up by basis consultant. So in development server, all the configurations will be there in development server. Okay. We have to do multiple configurations. In the sense, for every activity, we have to do the configurations. Where it happens? In development server. Okay. In detail, I'll explain in a different session. Right now, I know like most of you will not be able to visualize perfectly. So once the configurations and these things, like let's suppose I perform certain configurations, then you'll be having more clear picture. Okay, but still I'm giving some small explanations here. So development. So we have development, in that configurations we have, it will be done. And whatever configurations we have done in development, for every configurations, what is happening, guys? A transport request will be generated. What is this transport request? That you guys will come to know once I start the practical session. So when we do the configurations in development, a transport request is generated. So we are going to move this transport request from development to quality. What is the benefit? If you move a transport request from development to quality server, it means the configurations was saved on this transport request. If this transport request we are moving from development, in the sense simply we will copy from development to quality. The TR will be copied from development to quality. It means the same configurations will be copied to this server also. Okay. And in this server, what happened? We will perform our testing. In this server, we will perform our testing. And if we found that yes, it is fine, let's suppose we have posted multiple transactions and we found that yes, it is fine, everything is fine, then this transport request from development again, because main TR is there in development itself. So from development, this transport request finally it will move to the production server, and then the same configurations will be coming to the production server. But the transaction which we have posted to the quality server will not be, that is not going to move to production, because the transaction we have posted, it is there in quality itself. We simply move the transport request from development to production. So only configurations will be coming. And whatever testing we have done, whatever additional transactions we have posted in quality server, that will not be coming here to production system. Okay. So what happened? Perform mock cutover test. Okay. The timeline and process. So perform mock cutover test where? In quality server. right? Generally, we have to bring the, we have to migrate the data from legacy system to production system, but not directly. First of all, we have to test here in the quality server, and if we found that yes, it is like we are able to migrate the data smoothly, then timeline means how much time it is taking. It is taking, let's suppose, 2 days. In 2 days, we have completed the entire migrations. Then we got that idea that yes, within 2 days we can complete the entire, in the sense, entire data migrations, or within 3 days we can complete the entire data migrations. So what will happen? Then we have to move for final cutover, right? And for these 2 days or 3 days, we can lock the legacy system. We have to lock the legacy system, of course, because if we are migrating data from legacy system to SAP system, and if legacy system is not locked, then what will happen? User will keep on posting the transactions. So when you match the data from legacy system to SAP system, there will be mismatch. Why? Because by the time we have migrated the data from legacy system to SAP system, meanwhile somebody has posted some additional transactions, right? So there will be a data mismatch. So see, I'll tell you guys, I'm explaining in a very simple way so that everybody will be able to, imagine something. Okay. Now, so generally what happened here? So we have performed the mock cutover, and if it is fine, then what is happening? The complete final data migrations into production system, where here this is the final system, this is the final server, where the client, in the sense Tata Motor users, will post their real-time data. Real-time data and real-time transactions will be posted here into production system itself. So now what is happening? The legacy system data will be finally migrated to production system, because here we need all those data, whatever the past data which is there in the legacy system, right? So that here we have to move. So just for testing, we have moved in the quality first, and once we found that yes, it is smoothly, everything's are done, then that is going to move to production system. Okay. So here, complete final data migrations into production system and lock the legacy system if required. Legacy system means we have to lock it. In the sense, we have to simply inform the user better not to use this legacy system for these 2 days, at least 48 hours, right? So this is called locking the system, so that there won't be any kind of data mismatch. Okay. So now, once the data migration is done, then look at here, production system readiness. Now, so look at here, verify the system configurations and performance. In the sense, like, once again, we can recheck the things. Okay. Ensure all the development configurations are moved and transports are moved to the productions. So whatever this TR is there, okay. So this transport request, ensure that all the transport requests we have moved to the production, so that whatever the development and configurations are there, that is moved to the production system. Okay, whichever configurations and developments are there, guys, that will be saved on a transport request. Configurations will be done by you people. Development will be done by technical consultant. When the technical consultant do any sort of developments, for that also transport request will be generated. So all the transport requests, once we move from development to production, it means all the configurations and development will be moved to the production, because those activities are saved on the transport request itself, right? So transport request is working as a carrier, which is like carrying out all this, configurations and development from this development server to production server. Okay. So now, so these things are done, and complete final validations and sign up from business users. Since already we have done the testing, and we invited those people also to test this entire activity. They have tested and they said like it is okay. So we need to get the confirmations. Either they have to put their sign off on a particular document, right? Or else they will confirm through email. Nowadays, generally what happen, if anything is tested, they will simply confirm on the email, and even that is also accepted. That is also, you know, being considered by people. We need their acceptance, that's it, in whichever way they are giving. But verbal acceptance is not, that is not acceptable, guys. Verbally, if somebody has accepted and later on if they turn down and return back from their statement, then what will happen? So that's the reason we need a proof. So either they will accept on email or else we have to prepare a document, and that they will just go for sign up, they'll put their signature. And then finally, end user training also will be taking place. We have to train the end users, right? Because they're pretty new about SAP. And then hypercare planning. Hypercare planning means what, guys? Of course, after implementations, let's suppose IBM said that I'll give 1 month free of cost support. So less than a quarter support comes is called hypercare. So hypercare planning means set up hypercare support team for 1 month. Now let's suppose there are total 40 members are there. So for support, all 40 members are not required. Even half of the team size, that's okay. Because now we have to, once the system become go live, then we have to see the performance of the system. If any, what to say, how much is the uptime, how much is the downtime for the system, is there any error which is faced by the client during transaction posting? If yes, then we have to find out the solutions, we have to provide the solutions, we have to so these things we have to perform once the go live is done. So for that, first of all, we have to plan this hypercare planning, in the sense how many people are needed for this support, 1 month support, in the sense hypercare. So these things will be there. So set up a hypercare support team for immediate post go live issue resolutions or solutions. Okay. So now, so these things are happening. Then finally, what happened? Go live will be done, and go live. Once the go live is done, it means now SAP is going to run continuously, isn't it? Until unless they are going to use, in the sense maybe for 100 years, 200 years, who knows what will happen in future, right? But yes, for a smooth run, now go live is done, and for smooth run, what is happening? Go live and support for ongoing operations. Support for ongoing operations. First of all, 1 month free of cost, support will be there. In that, we have to check the system performance. Look at here. So begin day to day. Okay. So begin day to day business operations using SAP system. So here, once the go live is done, now day to day activity will be performed by end user, in the sense users of employee of Tata Motors, right? Ensure all core business processes are running smoothly. So of course, we have to observe, like, okay, these transactions are getting posted. Yes, it is posted. Is there any lag? Are you getting any dump, any technical issues or any functional errors or not? So that we have to continuously, we have to monitor, we have to watch. Okay. Monitor the system performance, uptime, downtime. Look at here, uptime refer to the amount of time SAP system available and operational without any interruption, without any issues. Okay. Now, so, and this is how we can check the system performance, right? If any downtime is there, then how, like in 24 hours, let's suppose half an hour system was down due to any reason. So basis consultant will be there. These people will monitor the root cause of this issues, right? So these things are happening here in the last phase. Of course, go live is done. After go live, 1 month hypercare will be there, and in that we have to observe these things. And till 1 month, if everything are stable, then fine, the implementation is completed successfully. Now what happened? After 1 month, again they need our support, guys. Our, in the sense, consultant support. After 1 month of hypercare, now they need the support, and they have to go for again further negotiations with IBM itself or Accenture or different company. That is their wishes. But generally what happened, now they have to go for support, and permanent support. Permanent support, in the sense, like if Tata Motor is going to use this SAP for 100 years, entire 100 years they need the support. So for support, who will provide the support? Of course, SAP consultant. So let's suppose initial 5 years contract they have done with IBM. After that, again they have done the contract with Wipro, right? So 10 years they have taken the support from outside. Then the client realized that why not build our own support team? That is called in-house support team. In-house support team means they will hire the SAP consultant on their payroll. So I'll tell you guys, there are certain myths in the market. People are saying that, okay, in SAP there is no much career because once the implementation is done, what is the need of consultant? Right? I'll tell you guys, of course, there is a need of consultant, and permanently they need. Tata Motor means, let's suppose, whether they are taking support from IBM, Accenture, or any other company, who will provide this support? Of course, a team of consultant. So there'll be a requirement of consultant. Or else if the Tata Motor hired and built their own team, in that case also they are going to hire the consultants only. So here also there is ultimately the consultant must be required, right, to move further. Okay, so here this is the last phase of implementations, and once the implementation is completed, and once this hypercare is also completed, after that automatically this project will be converted into support. For support, again they will negotiate with the IBM itself, right? Okay, you give us support for 2 years and we are going to make this much payment. So initially whoever the team has done the configurations, guys, in the sense implementations, the support mostly for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, support goes to that particular team only, because they know entire things, what exactly they have done, how they have configured the things, what about the business process of Tata Motors. So they know everything. So it will be pretty simple and easy for them to support Tata Motors. Smoothly they can support that this Tata Motor. And once the project becomes stable means, see, if any errors are coming, right? So every time we are providing the solutions. So after some time, what is happening, guys? The things are going to be very stable. Now, no much error. If any additional configurations are there, if any additional customizations, developments are there, so these kind of activity keep on coming. But the number of errors which is coming initially, now that is going to reduce, and it become very less later, after 6 months, after 8 months, after 1 year. Okay. So anyway, guys, so these are the total phases which is taking place. Total 6 phases are there here under Activate methodology. So hope you guys are able to understand. So that's all in this session, guys.